You got that big, beautiful dry room down there and nobody's using it?
No, it's getting used. Our cake's down there.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah. Take two.
I think that was somehow on air.
Was it?
Yeah.
Why did Mary Margaret?
Okay. I don't know if we need it. We got to plug. Oh, you know what?
Do we need the strip?
No, I don't think so, but we'll find out what's about to happen.
Here, I'm going to put this one down here.
Week number 3 of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet on MyTV Charleston. It's a wet one. Takes us just north of the Wando River at Philip Simmons High School as the Timberland Wolves visit the Iron Horses of Philip Simmons. Hello, everybody. Alongside Sean Mahoney, I'm Zeke Beam. Trooper Bob's on the sidelines with us here tonight as we have a working press box already underway. Timberland and Philip Simmons doing battle here tonight. Friday Night Rivals, week number 3. Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
The rain coming down, lights coming down. It's going to be a wild night.
We got a revenge game. We've got a rivalry game. Philip Simmons, they beat Timberland last season. They were the only loss in the regular season for Timberland. Timberland has some revenge on their mind tonight.
Oh, yeah, and Timberland's had a little bit of a slow start to the season, too. And you know, as soon as they saw Philip Simmons on the schedule, they took out the red marker, the Sharpie, circled it on. And what better way to do it than in the rain in a brawl?
Timberland led by their defense. Keyshawn Brown, a talented senior safety, hard hitter, plays downhill from that safety spot. He leads this very talented unit.
And he's got that college-type body, 6 feet, 180 pounds, and he's really going to have to lead this team against a Philip Simmons offense that's got a lot of weapons.
On the other side of the football for Philip Simmons, breakout senior wide receiver Q Green. He's only been playing football for 2 seasons. He was a standout basketball player. He's changing this Philip Simmons offense.
Oh, this guy is a stud. Not only a multi-sport athlete, but multi-dimensional on the field, can run it, can catch it. He actually leads the team in touchdowns. Even though he missed last week's game, he's going to be looking to get right back on track this week.
Depending at what time you're in Philip Simmons Stadium right now, it's either a downpour or a light drizzle, but we've had rain for days, plenty this afternoon. It's even raining right here in the middle of our stand-up. But ready for high school football here tonight as it is week number 3 of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet, the kickoff of Timberland and Philip Simmons next here on MyTV Charleston. The rain has subsided for the moment. Ready for kickoff here at Philip Simmons High School. Timberland will receive. The Iron Horses will kick off. Week number 3 of Friday Night Rivals. Always an adventure, it seems like, especially in a rain game, getting on air. But we made our way there and excited to have this one. Thanks for joining us here tonight.
It seems like we've had every type of weather. We've had pouring down, we've had light drizzle, but, you know, it seems like Mother Nature said, hey, let's play some football and let's clear out the skies a little bit.
Palmetto Pride kickoff, sponsored to you by Palmetto Pride. Litter trashes everyone. Philip Simmons, the Iron Horses in their home black, Timberland road white uniforms, orange pants. It poured for 90 minutes leading up until kickoff, and this is about as light as it has rained since 6:15. So these two teams probably grateful for that.
I mean, it seemed like they were having fun. They were warming up in the rain. I saw some push-ups, some mudslides. It was a great way to start the game for these guys, and or at least get fired up for this rivalry game. Like we were talking about earlier, Timberland has had this one scheduled on the calendar for a while, and Philip Simmons, they're here to prove, hey, last year wasn't a fluke.
Griffin Gore to kick off. Keyshawn Brown, one of the 2 Timberland players deep to receive. Also Jordan Timmons back there. Into the end zone it goes, and we're underway from Philip Simmons High School. Time and temperature of the first snap of the football game, 7:37. Coolest it's been in Charleston in weeks. Just under 70 degrees, right around 70 degrees for the kick of this one. Timberland with it. Out comes sophomore quarterback Gavin Gaskins. Timberland looking for its first win of the season. 0-3 to start the year. They did play 4A Berkeley in their opener and hung tough in that one. Here, the inside handoff goes, and running room for Demarion Hampton over that left side.
Number 25, Damari Middleton.
Correction, that's Damari Middleton, 25, not 24, getting the start tonight at running back, and he picks up almost 8.
Yeah, I think we were talking about earlier, Zeke. For Timberland, they really got to get the offense going early. They haven't scored in the first half of any of their 3 games to start the season. So if they can really come out here and get something going, especially on this first drive, it'll give them so much confidence moving forward.
Second and short, little running room that time. That'll bring up the first third down of the night.
Number 25, Middleton gets it again. This time swallowed up in the line of scrimmage by that Iron Horse defensive line.
It was Middleton again, and in on the stop, right in the middle of that defensive line, was Keyshawn Green, Bryce Small, Sherrod Williams, and it's third down short.
Yeah, I think one of the keys is to be interesting to see today, too, is with this weather, I know it's cleared out for a little bit, but how wet is that ball going to be? It's going to be interesting to see how effective the pass game is for either side, and I think we might be able to get a little bit of a first look here from the Timberland Wolves. Good look at
Eric Bendig, the head football coach of Philip Simmons.
Timeout on the field taken by
And a timeout asked for by Timberland. Bendig in his 6th year, only head coach here at Philip Simmons. Still a very young program. He joked with us in his pregame call that he's the winningest and losingest coach in Philip Simmons history. 23-21 in his 5 seasons and change to this point. 3rd and 1, early timeout in this football game.
This is a good distinction to have. You're also the winningest and losingest. I guess you're kind of both ends of the spectrum there.
We're on the edge of Berkeley County, if you're wondering where we are tonight. Philip Simmons High School, newer high school, just off of Clements Ferry Road, just north of Mount Pleasant, and just east of Daniel Island, right on the edge of Berkeley County. Beautiful piece of property, beautiful setting for a high school football game.
When you can see it when it's not raining. I think that's the key.
Timberland quickly to the line. Gaskins turns and hands off. There's not Gaskins in the starting lineup. Actually, that's Kylan Brown in there at quarterback. And that's the first down of the night. Mr. Sparky first down. Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician. First one of those and many more to come. Timberland goes quickly. Inside Middleton, some running room. You can see early on what the Wolves want to do. They want to pound the middle of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
gain of about 4.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it looks like, I mean, this is a strategy here. If they can keep chugging that ball down the field, not only are they getting the run game going, it'll open up their receivers on the outside, but they can really tire out this Philip Simmons defense, and that's something they need to do early on if they want to have success in this game.
Chip Carlson in on the tackle. Second on the team in tackles. They're right at 8 per game. Second, we'll call it 6. Floated out there and caught across midfield, is circling underneath. The pass from Brown. They'll say he dropped it actually at the last second. The hit coming in, knocking it out of his hands, was Gavin Edwards. Those are the types of big plays in the rain you're going to have a chance to make tonight. You need to come up with them. Edwards had both hands on it, just couldn't squeeze it. Defender, nice job of coming over and punching it out.
Yeah, great play by the senior defender, T.J. Benning, coming over and making that stop. And, you know, it's passes like those. It's going to be hard tonight. Wet football. You got to make sure you get 2 hands on those things and bring it down.
Brown in motion this way. Little end around goes the other direction. And Milligan with some running room, but he's going to be stopped short, and it's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, big stop there. Finally, the run looks like it didn't work out for the Timberland Wolves there, but I guess you gotta go back to the playbook, see what you can do. I mean, Philip Simmons, really good defensive stop there, stopping Timberland from moving even more further down the field on this drive.
Couldn't tell if that was Dariel Porcher or Bryce Smalls chasing him down to the perimeter. And there's a good look at Eric Bendig.
Flag on the play.
First flag of the night. And maybe one too many on the field for Philip Simmons, and this one might be close. It's about as close to the middle of the sticks as you can get. 4th and 5. They might have to walk it off and measure.
Oh, wow. It's not going to be able to move the chains. That'll be a huge mistake for Philip Simmons.
It's good for Mr. Sparky, though, as it goes for a Mr. Sparky first down.
Mr. Sparky's going to be really happy tonight.
Looks like it will be a first down. That's another first down for the Wolves.
Kylan Brown, the quarterback, 5'11 junior. Middleton, the back, offset behind him. Logan Gaskins in motion. Little give. Middleton bounces it over the left side, and as long as it took for him to get outside, you kind of wonder if that's maybe not a holding call coming in.
Yeah, that flag came in really quick on the outside. That's usually the sign of a holding, but we'll have to see what the refs say on the field.
It looked like Keyshawn Brown maybe beat his man in the middle of that line and had an offensive lineman wrapped around his waist. Quick look at the starters for Timberland. Wide receivers are Rashad White and Keyshawn Brown. Gavin Edwards also in there. That offensive line, Deontay Moore, Ethan Milligan, Desmond Green, Josh Hamm, and Kasim Leifridge. It's a young offensive line. One senior, lone senior on the offensive line, Deontay Moore, 3 sophomores and a freshman.
Yeah, you could see maybe a little bit of inexperience there, but we'll see how they hold up for the rest of the game.
There's the star safety Brown with his first catch of the game, and he sloshes for about 3 yards, and it'll bring up 2nd and long. You can already tell the field's going to be a factor. We have had inches and inches of rain in the area.
That's not an over exaggeration either. You could see when they're just stepping on the field, you could see the puddles of water coming from in their cleats. I mean, I love it. That's the type of football that I like to see, the real brawl out there.
Little give inside and a little bit of running room, but not much for
After a 1-yard gain by number 21,
Timmons. KJ Asbury upfield to make the stop. Never got him to the ground, but wrestled him for a minute. Might have had to have, maybe with the road game, a couple of number switches for Timberland, trying to figure out what those are.
We see Timberland run a lot now. Now you got a 3rd and very long situation. We'll see what the coach draws up here.
Rolling right, trying to get outside and hit hard at the 44-yard line is Kylan Brown. And it'll be 4th down, and Timberland will punt.
First down marker, but not enough for the first.
It looks like a great form tackle there by Troy Stevenson, the junior. He's also 6'1", 165 too. Got a decent size on him, and yeah, you got to make those tackles in the open field. And a good stop for this Philip Simmons defense. Now it's just a matter, you got to make sure you got the right amount of people on the field, and they should get the ball back on offense.
Good punts away. Riley Beard underneath it, sure-handed, makes the catch at the 23-yard line, and Philip Simmons will have their first possession of the football game. Right at a 44-yard kick. Nice boot there. And our first look at this Philip Simmons offense. Tavian Orellana, the sophomore quarterback, 5'11", surrounded by talented skill guys. And he really steers the ship. Replacing four-year starter Trip Williams, who's now at the Citadel.
Some big shoes to fill for coming in as a sophomore, but he's been seeming to do a good job.
Two wide receivers either way for Orellana on his first snap, and he's sacked. Immediately under siege upfield was Cameron Akins for Timberland. A loss of 7, and it's second down and 17.
And the big body just broke through the line there, and that's what you want to see if you're the Timberland Wolves. You want to get that energy up and make sure you really try and punch Philip Simmons in the mouth here on offense. Don't give him any momentum.
Orellana give. Look at that, Sherrod Williams running the far side. He's stacked up right at the line of scrimmage and pushed back. Might have picked up a yard, but a flag comes in. That is Sherrod Williams. KJ Asbury, Sherrod Williams, Isaac Schimpf. Those are the running backs that will share time. Very talented wide receiver group outside. Q Green and Troy Stevenson. We'll talk about Stevenson more and more as the night goes on. Week number 3 of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Opening possession for Philip Simmons. Timberland held it for a few minutes and punted.
You talk a little bit about that offense, Zeke. They got the trio of juniors at running back, KJ Asbury, Sherrod Williams, Isaac Schimpf, and you also got Q Green on the outside, Stevenson. This offense is loaded.
Running room on 3rd and long. The penalty will be gained and the sack will be picked back up, but that'll be about it. And the Iron Horses will have to punt for the first time tonight. Little space there for Q Green. Didn't play last week, so this is his first action in 2 weeks. Featured him in the open. So the two teams trade punts to start the game.
It's going to be interesting to see how long it takes Q Green to get going, especially on this wet field where you might have to lean a little bit more on this run game. So Q Green, it's going to be interesting to see when he gets in this offense how much of an impact he has.
Griffin Gore, nice job of handling the snap and gets away a solid kick. Fair catch and going to a knee. And then taking off with it, I think, was Gavin Edwards, but he's blown dead at the 45-yard line. Sure, you can see it on TV, but you can really see it here in person. There's a lot of water on this field.
King's Cross Church has been working with the entire Philip Simmons School community since day one.
You see a lot of the fans just trying to go belly flop down in the water. Too.
Bible studies and devotions. Please join us Sundays at 10 a.m. at 2011 Plymouth Ferry Road, Charleston, South Carolina, 29492.
Looks like we got a timeout.
5:10 to play first quarter. Scoreless here at Philip Simmons High School. Might be having some communications problems with our team. Keys to the game. Look at our keys to the game tonight for Timberland. They got to get the offense going. The defense has carried them so far this season, but they got to get that offense going.
Yeah, I mean, it's been their Achilles heel this season. In all 3 of their games, they have waited until at least the end of the 3rd quarter to score. They haven't scored in the first half of any of their games. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. If they can really get that ball moving, rely on some of their running backs, and if quarterback Gavin Gaskins can start to get the ball moving a little bit in the air, it would really set the tone for this Wolves offense.
Cruz Chevrolet keys to the game. Cruz Chevrolet on Rivers. You've got a friend in the car business. Timberland good field position to start their second possession near midfield. Moved it about 20 yards on their opening possession before they return back on a penalty. Inside handoff, Keyshawn Brown, and the whole pile moved up front. Moore, Milligan, Green, Hamm, and Leifridge pushing it into Philip Simmons territory.
And we don't get to talk about the offensive linemen that much, but for Timberland, Josh Hamm had a really good pull from the guard spot into the B gap to push away a lot of those defenders and really open that hole to give them around that 6-yard gain. You know, it's really those boys in the trenches. It's going to be wet. It's going to be physical tonight, and they're going to be the ones that making the difference, especially in that run game.
Really tight formation for Timberland. Brown, Middleton again. Really working the middle of that line. It is the definition of a scrum.
Every play, it seems like, whether Timberland's on offense or Philip Simmons on offense, you've got bodies begging, and it seems like you, no matter which side of the field on, I saw it with Timberland, we saw it with Philip Simmons, we're on 5 defenders swarming the running back Middleton there, and we've seen it on every play. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one to watch as it continues to move on.
Third down short.
Really tight formation here.
Middleton again nearly lost it, and then he spun free and was able to pick up the first down.
And Middleton, yeah, you're right, he almost did lose. It looks like there was a little bit of a miscommunication with the snap, but really good athlete, able to get it back in his hands, make a spin move, turn it around, and get the first down.
Your first quarter scorebug brought to you by David Ayler Law Offices, your client-focused, community-driven injury firm. A Mr. Sparky first down for Timberland to open this possession. There's the band.
There we go. I was wondering where they were.
Where have they been?
Maybe the rain delayed them a little bit, but they're here.
I bet you that's exactly what it was. Here's running room. Sprinting free up the middle of the field is Milligan. Bounces his outside, has the corner, and is knocked out just shy of the goal line. Amir Milligan jets up the left sideline for 40 yards.
It looks like they called it a touchdown.
Did Milligan score? Looked like he was knocked out of bounds from this angle, but Timberland celebrating the touchdown.
Really got to that pylon on the far side.
Eric Bendig not happy about it, but Timberland scores. Here's your Cruise Chevrolet replay.
And look at Milligan burst through the hole, hit it to the outside, and run, sprinting through the water, and that's where you turn on the jets right there. It looks like he hits the right foot with this pylon, and oh, that's what you like to see. And this is exactly what we said. Timberland had to get on the board early. They did just that. Milligan getting them on the board, and great start for the Timberland Wolves.
Delay a game penalty on the point after touchdown, so Timberland going to have to think about what they're doing here. They'll be backed up 5 yards. Greg Wright, the third-year head coach at Timberland, down the sideline. He's got a question for the official. I don't think he liked the timing of the play clock there. Keyshawn Brown will hold it, and the quarterback, Keyshawn Brown, will kick it. High snap through the hands of Brown. Keyshawn Brown picks it up and throws it to Keyshawn Brown. It's just going to be one of those nights.
Snaps are going to be hard to handle tonight. You got to try and get it where you can. Oh boy, yeah, I have the feeling, Zeke, we're going to be seeing that a lot.
Amir Milligan, the 44-yard touchdown run, our first score of the game. The Timberland Wolves a 6-0 lead early over Philip Simmons here on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet. Timberland strikes first on the 44-yard touchdown run by Amir Milligan. And Philip Simmons set for their second possession. Short kickoff handled on the hop. And Troy Stevenson stacked up right around the 25-yard line. And Philip Simmons will go on offense. Quick penalty and a sack stalled the first drive for the Iron Horses. Very active up front was Cameron Akins. He had that initial sack for Timberland. Final minutes, first quarter.
Let's see how Eric Bendig responds after Timberland takes the lead on them in a big rivalry game. You got to wonder if they got to pick up the slack on offense.
Little end around. I think this handoff's to Green, and running room over the left side for him. And down the left sideline, it's actually KJ Asbury, stayed in bounds, and he is splashed out at the 20.
A little bit of a mud bath at the end of that play. And a little bit of a reward for what was a huge game for the Iron Horses. And yeah, you gotta get down in those trenches, isn't that right, Zeke?
That one goes for 55 yards, excuse me, and just like that, Philip Simmons knocking on the door. Boy, great job by Asbury staying in bounds on this near sideline, and Gavin Edwards chased him down. Late whistle right before the snap, and Timberland asked for the timeout. Good look at the replay here. We'll see Asbury stay in bounds.
Yeah, look at this tiptoeing on the sideline, that lean to the left, just making sure you keep those feet in bounds. I know that back in practice, you'd be doing those tiptoe drills, making sure you keep your feet in bounds when you're making the catch and running down the sideline. It pays off there, and what a run by the Iron Horses.
Another look at it, and Asbury just face first into the puddle. Gives you an idea of how much water we have out here tonight. Good look there at the Palmetto Pride replay. Second quarter replay brought to you by Palmetto Pride. Litter trashes everyone. KJ Asbury, good looking running back for this Iron Horse offense. Junior, 33 carries, up toward 300 yards now on the season. Longest carry of the season right there for him, 55 yards. Philip Simmons, 1st and 10 at the Timberland 20. Looking for their first points of the game. Isaac Schimpf in there at running back, pounds his way for a couple of yards. Stacked up in the middle by Cameron Akins, Reuben Lawrence.
I wonder if you look
Jakari
back.
Simmons had some hands in there.
I wonder if you look back at the numbers of how many pass plays there's been and how many run plays there's been. It's probably been about 85% runs, and that just might be due to the weather conditions out here. And, hey, it's been working for both teams. We both got big breakoffs on each side.
Orlana to Schimpf again. Schimpf, nice change of pace back and able to squirt through for 6 or 7.
I mean, it's like we were talking about, Zeke. They have a running back by committee offense. They have Asbury, Schimpf, and they also have Sherrod Williams, who hasn't seen too much time in this first quarter. But like you said, change of pace. You can have the bruiser down the middle, the one Asbury who's going to break it outside. It's going to be interesting to see how they utilize him.
Kayvon Green, the Wolf that rode Schimpf down from behind there. Nice tackle by him. 3rd and 3, key play of this drive.
Got to wonder if there's going to be a pass here. Oh, looks like they're going to hand it off.
More Schimpf over that right side, following the halfback Brady Tonnen. And he's going to come up just short. I think it's going to be 4th and maybe a half step.
Oh, well, now this is an interesting decision for the Iron Horses here. Looks like it's just inches. Do they move it? Oh, actually, looking like they're going to move the chains down the field. First down, Schimpf just getting the inches they need to keep this Iron Horses drive going, and they're going to go right to the line of scrimmage to see if they can catch the Wolves off guard.
That's a West Shore Homes first down. So change of pace back. Here's Asbury over the left side. He's got the touchdown.
Oh, looks like there might be a flag on the play, though.
This one's going to come back, though. Really late and deliberate signal by the referee to come over and finally make that call, but it's going to come back. Holding on Philip Simmons, and the Asbury touchdown will be wiped off.
The referee's taking his time. It's been a, rainy day. Might just go for a stroll a little bit, but
it's a little slick out there too. He's probably got to be sure about his footing.
He doesn't want to tear ACL out there on the third week of the season.
Touchdown, we had holding on the horses. That'll back him up. Still first down.
When Asbury was bringing it down the sideline, I wonder if they feed it back to him after that long 55-yard run to get it in. It almost feels right that he has a chance to punch it in the end zone and get 6.
Schimpf with running room, puts his shoulder down at the 4. Did he lose the football or get in? That was a helmet.
Lost the helmet.
Touchdown. We got helmets flying. Isaac Schimpf running people over. And Philip Simmons has tied it at 6.
Oh, my God. It's bruising down. And I know I said right before maybe Asbury deserves it, but I'm sure everyone in the Iron Horse is going to be happy that Schimpf got in that end zone. And, yeah, banging bodies. You saw that helmet go flying. And Schimpf's that one who's going to take it down the middle, run it down your throat, and gets in the end zone for 6. Is a big drive for the Iron Horses, who gets the momentum back on their sides after the Wolves took 6.
Crew Chevrolet replay. That was all Schimpf the last 12 feet. Gore on for the PAT. He's a weapon. He bangs it through.
Hey, Schimpf in that replay, dragging people with him to the sideline. Looks like he had 2 defenders on his back, but he would not go down. Big play for the Iron Horses. They take the lead 7-6 late in this first quarter.
Kelly McClatchy, our sideline cam, is the MVP tonight. Great shot there on that sideline. He's working hard down there. He's got a plastic bag over the camera, got his rain gear on. That is not an easy job, but he's working it tonight. Good look there at Isaac Schimpf, junior running back. It's thunder, lightning, and then thunder and lightning in this backfield. Eric Bendig told us. KJ Asbury, Sherrod Williams, Isaac Schimpf. He just has all sorts of change of pace guys.
I guess, what do you call it? Thunder, lightning, and then what would be a third one you could add in there?
Thunderstorm?
Thunderstorm, thunder, lightning, and storm, or thunder, lightning, and tornado, maybe. We're just spitballing nicknames here. They should have us. They should have us be the nickname crew for the Iron Horses this week. Looks like we just got under a minute here. And Philip Simmons about to kick off 7-6. Left with under a minute left in this first quarter.
Gore hammers it deep, 3 yards into the end zone, and Timberland will start at their own 20-yard line. Here's a good look at the leg for Griffin Gore. Left footer, he's the striker on the soccer team. 42, long of 42 this season for the Iron Horses.
I know.
Fan Cam sponsored by Fan Zone. All your sports teams gear under one roof. Good crowd here tonight. They had to weather a lot of water from about 5:45 until 7:15, but it's slowed down. Field's wet, but we're playing football. Middleton, nice cutback, puts down the shoulder and picks up 7.
Middleton is just eating this game already in the first quarter. Must have a little over 50, 60 yards on the game. And, hey, you got to see how long he's going to keep that up. And at this pace, he's going to end with 150, 200 yards. But, it's a long game. We got to see where this thing goes.
Middleton already with a half dozen carries, up around 35 yards.
It might be on the TOC channel.
Little motion from Logan Gaskins. Middleton scoots forward, picks up the first down.
Looks like they'll be close to the marker.
You talked about the fans, Zeke. The fans came out. We were trying to shelter from the rain for the first hour, and now we got a whole wave of students down there. They're going crazy to the drum line. This is what high school football is about. Getting out, having a good time, dressing in some camo.
Couple of seconds left here in the first quarter as it winds down. Timberland will get in one more snap. Little cutback from Middleton. He'll pick up a couple, and that entire defensive line on him pretty quickly. Devontae McNeil, Tyshawn Green, Bryce Small, Sherrod Williams. That group up front doing work for Philip Simmons. Well, we got just about everything we could ask for out of the first quarter. First of all, the rain back down.
There you go.
A couple of big explosive plays on offense, couple of sacks on defense, and a close football game.
Gotta hope this pace keeps up, and we're gonna be in for a good one. Offense, defense, firing on all cylinders here in the first quarter at Philip Simmons High School.
Iron Horses lead by a point after 12 minutes here at Philip Simmons High School. Week number 3 of Friday Night Rivals. Zeke Beam, Sean Mahoney. Just about set for the second quarter of play. It was an absolute downpour here 30 minutes before kickoff. There were a lot of concerns about whether or not middle of the day this game would even be played, and that was throughout the Low Country. And very fortunate that most of the high school games around the area are being played tonight. Anyone who is not playing, it's really because the field conditions probably became unplayable. Yeah, we're close here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we were even getting rained on in the booth up here. I mean, it's been all around the Low Country, but good to see some football on Friday night.
Kylan Brown, nowhere to go for Muir Milligan that time. These two teams trying to pick and choose their spots. You're trying to pop the big one, but because of the footing, tough to block, tough to really cut hard. You also have to make sure you protect the football and you don't hurt yourself too much trying to do too much.
Yeah, definitely. We each one kind of got a 1-2 jab on each other. They each broke one outside for around 45, 55 yards each. But like you said, it's going to be a test of wills. Who can keep punching the other one in the mouth and keep putting that rock down the field?
If you look in the middle of your screen, you take a peek at the center for Timberland. That is Desmond Green. He is a 6'4", 340-pound freshman, and he is snapping the ball in 2 inches of water all night tonight. If that tells you anything about the trust Greg Wright has in that young man.
Freshman, 340 pounds, 6'4". I mean, you got to be put something in those chicken nuggets.
He is a massive young man. There's a good look at the sidelines. Trooper Bob down there for us, having some communication problems with him, but presenting a check to Philip Simmons High School. Are you down there? You got us, Bob? Glad to hear you.
Some of the things you're doing here at the school this year that you're excited about?
I think the biggest thing that we're really excited about here at the school is coming off of back-to-back Carlisle Cup champions, being the best 2A school in the state athletically, and now moving up to 3A. We're just thrilled to be there, and we're ready to keep it going.
Thank you very much. You're having good luck with the rest of the school year. I'm going to tell you, this field took a soaking here right before, and you can see it. It's a pretty much 100-yard slip and slide, but you can see it when they're tackling these people with the crowds into it. So it's a good Friday night, ready for some more football.
Bob, I was going to ask you, what did you do before the game to make the rain stop? You got a secret formula for us?
You know, I came out soaked like everybody else. I should have boots, but the student section, they came out in T-shirts and tank tops. No foul weather gear needed over there, and some of the crowd is still trickling in here into the game. So it's a good night. The rain just eased up a little bit about 5 minutes ago.
Trooper Bob, you gotta talk with Mother Nature, and you know, I feel like you guys got a special relationship to make this rain go away.
I'm going to talk to Chris Nesbitt Monday morning.
Yeah, there you go.
Chris was with us last week, not here this week. Philip Simmons. A late penalty, I think. As we try to sort out what's going on the field here, a late penalty, I think, came in against Philip Simmons after the stop. More on that school grant. MyTV Charleston and ABC News 4 are proud to present each participating home school a check for $500. This grant provides each school with extra funding to help make their school great. Over the past 12 seasons, Friday Night Rivals and our sponsors have donated over $130,000 to Low Country students and schools. Congratulations from MyTV Charleston and ABC News 4.
Good old shout out to weather team over here, ABC News 4, keeping us dry. Or I don't know if they were the ones who kept us dry. They warned us it was going to be wet, but we got nice and dry right before game time. And Bob was right. A lot of these students are wearing T-shirts out here. They're braving the elements, and they picked the right time to wear a T-shirt. I guess they got really lucky with coming out here in those camos. I'm seeing some tank tops too. Braver than I would be.
So dead ball. Trying to figure out, so the penalty must have been dead ball. It's still Philip Simmons football. All right. I think some confusion about when the penalty occurred that potentially would have changed possession.
Yeah.
But it'll be Philip Simmons ball. They'll start their third drive of the night just across midfield.
Yeah, and this is where Philip Simmons really wants to make a statement. Now you already got a touchdown. If you can get another one here and really take it to Timberland in this first half, head to the locker room with a good lead, that would be great for these Iron Horses.
Another little stretch play coming this way, and this time the Wolves defense, nice job running sideline to sideline. They chased down, that time it was Sherrod Williams. He had Jakari Simmons hanging around his ankles. Loss of 4 on the play.
So we're calling Sherrod Williams Storm, and then we're gonna call Shrimp Thunder, and then we're gonna call Ashbury Lightning. That's what I'm feeling for tonight.
And there's some movement by Philip Simmons. Yeah, talking with Eric Bendig, he talked about those junior running backs, said he had 3 good junior running backs, raved about them really. And all 3 explosive, but brought different dynamics. Shemp has the touchdown tonight.
Yeah, it's like you said. Shemp kind of really bodied the run down the middle for the touchdown. You saw Ashbury break it outside, and when you have 3 weapons like that, you can rotate and you can keep the Wolves defense on their toes, and it really helps out to give this offense some new looks. And then once you can get those running backs going, you can free up the wide receivers outside. We still got Q Green, who's going to be a big factor in this game.
A tough night for the wide receivers as plowing for yards, I think, was Isaac Shemp that time. It was. He's out near midfield, right back to the original line of scrimmage to bring up 3rd and 10. And one of the Timberland Wolves shaking up on the play.
Yeah, Shrimp really he's been that guy who's going to hit that A-gap right down the middle, and he's going to drag Wolves with him no matter what. And it's been fun to watch here, but like you said, a little bit of a sad day to be a wide receiver here at Philip Simmons Stadium. But who knows, maybe in the second half they'll have a little bit of a change of heart.
Here's a look at the Palmetto Pride replay. Palmetto Pride litter trashes everyone. Isaac Shemp trying to get a clean handle on the ball. Is not going to speculate on who the player shaking up is for Timberland.
You got to hope he's okay.
Up on his feet and going to try to walk off under his own power.
That's good to see.
It's 53, Ethan Milligan, sophomore defensive lineman and offensive lineman. Philip Simmons, 3rd and 10. There's the fan cam, sponsored by the Fan Zone.
All in camo out today. It's a war out there. It's a rain brawl like we called it earlier, but not so much rain anymore. But these teams have been battling back and forth, at least for this first quarter and a half.
Fan cam, Fan Zone. All your sports teams' gear under one roof. 3rd and 10. Orellana handles the snap, and then he short hops Troy Stevenson. That'll bring up 4th down. It's a tough night. We talked about it for the wide receivers. Q Green, Troy Stevenson. Green is the emerging senior. Didn't play last week. Want to get some more touches and deep shots for him. Troy Stevenson is, by all accounts, a top 100, 150 recruit for next year. He's a junior, being looked at by just about everybody in college football. Penn State, Notre Dame, among others.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be a stud when he gets to the next level. And to have someone like Q Green on the other side who still in his own right can run, catch, leading the team in touchdowns. It's a 1-2 punch that, fortunately, we haven't got to see much of tonight.
Wobbly kick from Gore, and the Wolves will wisely get away from it. Timberland will go back on offense.
Good job by the coverage team. Get down there and down the football. Looks like it was placed around the 22-yard line.
Tough to throw, tough to catch tonight. Anytime that ball hits the ground, you really can't keep them dry. There's not enough towels to get that job done.
Back in the 80s, 90s when they had Stickum, you had the honey that you would stick to your hands. I don't know if it'd fly in today's high school football game.
I'm not sure anything would work tonight. Turf field, you'd have a chance, but on a grass field with actual mud,
no shot.
Nothing works. Tell you an old adage I used to hear a coach say. Just a second. First snap of this drive for the Wolves, and nowhere to run for Milligan. Pursuit almost immediately as he took the snap from right in the middle of that line was Keyshawn Green. 6.5 tackles per game this season, and he came in just completely untouched for the stop right there at the line of scrimmage. Used to have an old football coach that I was around. He said a quarterback's dream was a wet field and a dry ball, and a defensive back's dream was a wet field and a wet ball. Think about it, it makes sense.
It
the
does
quarterback
make sense.
can hold a ball on a wet field, throw it wherever he wants, but if it's all wet,
no, yeah, he wants that football dry, everything else wet, get the defenders off the balance. I see where it goes.
nice little throw and catch, pick up a couple of yards for Kylan Brown. Able to get it to his wide receiver, Edwards, tiptoes the sidelines.
There you go. Now we're starting to see the air attack open up a little bit for Timberland. And if they can get some wide receivers going, maybe possibly get some pass plays, they can really open up this field. It seems right now the Philip Simmons, the Iron Horse, they're loading the box right now, just daring the quarterback to really beat him on the outside, Gavin Gaskin. So we'll see how the rest of this drive plays out.
Brown, nothing doing for Middleton there, and it'll be 4th down for the Wolves. Green really set the tone on this drive with that early stop, and he finished it himself with the stop at the line of scrimmage there.
Yeah, MVP of this drive, Green. He really burst through the edge of the line, and then really is able to get the tackles on each end of the drive. Really a big defensive standout for this Iron Horse team.
Another Wolves shaking up on the play. Good look there at Keyshawn Green. Green, a senior defensive lineman, has the potential to play next year in college. 6 foot, 220 pounds, a chance to add to that frame. Tight win here at Philip Simmons High School, 7-6, 4 minutes into the second quarter. Week number 3 of Friday Night Rivals. Nice punt from the Wolves as we come back from break. And Philip Simmons will have it. First down and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
Yeah, something we haven't talked about yet, too, is these punts have been surprisingly good for the wet balls, the punters and kickers getting a hold of. I know that Philip Simmons kicker has kicked a couple touchbacks in there and extra points, and impressive in the rain. I know I couldn't do it.
Philip Simmons will move left to right here in the second quarter. Little fake and a little change of pace, and running over that left side is Troy Stevenson, I believe, in there to take the snap. That's exactly who that was. Check that, KJ Asbury. Well, if you can't get him the ball, you can't get him going on the ground with the handoff, might as well just put him in there at quarterback, let him take the snap.
It looked like they had the triple threat back there. They had the one running back on each side of Asbury. So, yeah, why not put all three of them on the field at once and let them go to work?
No running room here, though, stacked up by the front of that Timberland defensive line. Akins, Ruben Lawrence in there.
Yeah, it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. Their formation, they got three in the back. Asbury taking the Wildcat snap with a running back on each side. And, I mean, it's an interesting strategy because then you, as the defense, you got to wonder, well, they could keep it with Asbury down the middle. They could kick it outside. They could kick it outside to Sherrod Williams, or they can give it to Shemp and keeps the defense on their toes. But they got a big third down here coming up where you got to wonder if they got a decent amount of yards to pick up around 7. You got to wonder if that strategy is still going to work out for them.
Late swap on the offensive line for Philip Simmons. Aiden Anderson-Taylor, the junior, checks in. Third down and about 6. Straight snap to Asbury. Really nice job breaking tackles and now finds space over the right side. Into Timberland territory, shoved out of bounds by Edwards, but there's a flag about 55 yards back.
Yeah, usually when those flags are that far back, it's not a good sign for the offense. What a run by Asbury. That's I believe the second one he's broken off tonight, but unfortunately it doesn't look like this one's going to count.
KJ Asbury's a big back with pretty good speed.
Yeah, for someone who is 6 feet, pushing 200 pounds, he can move down the field. He was beating some of those DBs down on that second gear. But, yeah, I mean, part of the reason he was able to get there was it looks like there was a little bit of a hold on the line of scrimmage.
Philip Simmons is 2-1 on the season. Opening win over Andrews. Then they lost their second game of the year to 5A St. James. It was actually the first overtime game in school history.
Wow.
This is a 6-year program, only been playing varsity football for a couple of seasons.
And for a 2A team, or turned 3A now, to go up against a 5A team, take them to overtime, really shows the talent on this Philip Simmons team. But they still got a test here with the Timberland Wolves hanging on midway through the second quarter.
This is the smallest 3A school in the state. Little slip pass out to the left side, little screen near first down yardage, but will come up short. Nice pursuit by the Wolves. Said his name a lot tonight, Jakari Simmons, running sideline to sideline and probably saved a first down there.
Yeah, maybe not the exact way the Timberland Wolves pictured that this drive would end, but a holding call, and then, like you said, Jakari Simmons, who's just been all over the field for this Timberland Wolves team. And there you go. The Timberland Wolves, a good stop here in the second quarter. If they could keep this close and possibly get another offensive drive down the field, that's exactly the momentum they need. I think the biggest key for this Wolves team is they need to go into having that confidence, which they haven't had for a lot of this season with their lackluster first half. So let's see how the rest of this quarter plays out.
Jakari Simmons is listed at 5'9", 180. Give me 11 of him.
11 people who hit like him.
Timberland up to make the catch on the punt. I believe that's Keyshawn Brown, and he takes it into Philip Simmons territory.
And that's another name we've been talking about a lot, Keyshawn Brown. You see him on both ends of the ball. You see the safety, the anchor of the defense. You also see him catching some passes. And now he's on special teams. He's doing it all. He's been a big factor for this Wolves team, and we'll be saying his name a lot for the rest of this game, I'm assuming.
Somebody's going to be saying his name next year. Different shaped body. He is a good-looking athlete, a senior. Chance to play at the next level and play college football.
Yeah, he's got some speed to him too, just in the kick return or even on the defensive side, getting up to the line of scrimmage from that safety back or that nickel slot. Really good speed for a guy his size.
He's at the bottom of your screen. This handoff goes to Milligan, and he kind of weaves his way over the right side. Nice gain on first down. You see how wet it is out there. Amir Milligan had to cut 2-3 times just to pick up 6-7 yards there.
I think my favorite thing I like to look at is if you look at some of the offensive linemen for the Timberland Wolves, you can see their jerseys versus maybe some of the wide receivers on the outside. A little bit darker. It shows kind of the muddiness of this field.
Milligan hit hard in the hole that time, right at the line of scrimmage. Upfield to make the pop, I think. That was Chip Carlson. It was.
Chip Carlson hit him with the Dikembe Mutombo. Not today. Not going down the gaps that time.
He's the leader of this defense, and pound for pound, really good football player. Second on the team in tackles, just under 10. He transferred into Philip Simmons this year.
That's a good transfer. He's got the build of a really good middle linebacker type, and it was a great play right there, coming in and rushing that gap off the line.
Key third down and slipping down as soon as he took the handoff. I believe was Milligan, and it'll bring up fourth down. You think probably in this spot on the field. Well, what do I know? Greg Wright's going to punt. Kind of makes sense, though, with the slick field. It's a field position football game now. You're trying to play for that big, long run and not to make the mistake in the middle of the field.
I mean, yeah, I would agree with you with your original train of thought. It could be possibly the situation where you might consider taking a risk here. But like you said, it's early in the game. That slipping field, you just saw on the last play, too, Milligan slipped a little bit on that slick field. So, yeah, safe play here by the kicker.
Nice job handling the snap. Riley Beard telling everyone to get away. It'll take
it does not take a bounce.
It'll take a Timberland bounce, and then it'll find a Philip Simmons puddle. And, wow.
It just stuck in there.
Tiger Woods can't stop a wedge that well. Final minutes of the first half, 7-6, Philip Simmons lead. Isaac Shemp has an 11-yard touchdown run for the Iron Horses. Amir Milligan a 44-yard touchdown run for the Timberland Wolves.
That was like a ping pong ball hitting a cup, just sitting in place on that punt. Shows how slick the field is today.
Little give to Asbury, pushing his way over the left side. He'll pick up 5. A nice gain on first down. That's really all you can ask for right now. As this field deteriorates, no one's going to have a tougher job than the groundskeepers and those who work on the field around the Low Country starting tomorrow after these Friday night games.
Do not envy their jobs. I mean, you can just see, like, at the second half is going to be even muddier. It's going to be even more potholes, so to say, in this field, and that's going to affect the game.
There's the slant for Stevenson. First big throw and catch of the night. As Orellana, a nice strike there, and that's a big gain. 15 yards and a first down.
Now you start to get into the game plan for Timberland and head coach for Philip Simmons and head coach Eric Bendig. You got around 2.5 minutes left in this half. You can either play it safe, try to run it down the field, or you can try to air it out a little bit, maybe get some extra points on the board and cushion that lead heading into halftime.
Grab the head coach, we'll do it right here.
Palmetto Pride replay. Nice throw and catch. Orellana to Stevenson there. Stevenson listed at 6'1", 155. Actually 165. He's a little bit bigger than that. I think probably weighs a few more pounds. But again, a big-time college prospect, and you see why there. Another West Shore Homes first down. Haven't had many of them here in the second quarter. West Shore Homes, America's most admired home remodeling brand.
Yeah, you're talking about Stevenson, too. Good to see him get some love on that play. And I mean, we were talking about earlier, it's going to be hard for these receivers, especially as this field deteriorates, that ball gets a little more muddy. But Stevenson is a guy that he can be the one person to change a game.
Coming up on the Palmetto Pride halftime report. Going to take a look at both teams' cheer squads. Talk to both coaches. Trooper Bob's going to have both head coaches coming on and off the field. Ask them about this first half. I bet you $1 they both say something about the field and the water and the rain and the playing conditions.
I will not take that bet because they're 100% they're going to say something about that.
Philip Simmons on the move. 2.5 minutes to play first half.
There you go, another run down the middle, it looks like.
Straight ahead. Can't tell if that's Williams or Asbury. We seem a little behind at times, just so you know. Our monitor that we're watching through is about 10 seconds behind what you see on TV. So we're sometimes a little delayed when we take a look back at a replay of those types of things. But we're thrilled to be able to bring you Friday Night Rivals for a 13th season here on My TV Charleston. Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Orlana, nice job hanging in there, and he found Stevenson again there right at the sticks.
Yep. Stevenson once again. And like we said, like we talked about, he can change the game by himself. And you're seeing it here. They can get him closer and closer to that end zone over time run down this first half.
Really working on that left side. Breaking a tackle and finding a first down into Timberland territory. I think that might be Josh Gant.
Looks like it. Yeah, we think that last play was not Stevenson. The first one, Stevenson's lining up on the right side or in that slot position.
He's to the bottom of your screen.
That's Q Green.
That's Q Green.
That's our player to watch for today.
Definitely Q Green. You can see him there clearly on the TV from the press box. These dark numbers on these dark uniforms are difficult to see just with the naked eye.
Yeah, I don't know if either of us have perfect 20/20 vision either.
Philip Simmons takes the timeout. We wind down almost to 90 seconds to play here in the first half. Next week, we're not far from here. About 5 or 6 miles as the crow flies. We hop over to Daniel Island. Woodland, I should say, visits Bishop England next Friday night.
I gotta get excited about that one. Bishop England has been having a good season. Beat crosstown rivals Wando. And then look at that as you keep going forward. We got another game with Portergaud and Hanahan later on in the season. And then Stratford and Somerville. Big game on September 30th, I should say. Right here on My TV Charleston, Friday Night Rivals. Couple good games these next couple weeks, and we got one on our hands right here.
Schedule's backloaded with a lot of 5A football. Timberland's the only one of 2 schools that get to play on Friday Night Rivals twice this year. Deep shot, Orlana up that left sideline. Once Green. Did he squeeze it? He did, right at the 12-yard line.
Wow, what a catch. Defender draped all over him. It looks like that was Jordan Timmons on the coverage, but Q Green, what a catch. And that's really what they teach you in training camp. Go back to the ball. Make sure you don't just let the ball come to you, but speaking of going back, unfortunately, it looks like this play is going to go back as well.
Q Green might have been covered up on the play. No, he's on the end of the line of scrimmage. Wouldn't make him ineligible there, though. They might have said he was off. Oh, that's picky.
Yeah.
32-yard throw and catch.
That's tough. Offsides, it looks like. We've had a couple of those plays tonight where we've had some big games, and it seems like it's been on both sides of the ball, too. Got some big games, 30-plus yards, and they're getting taken back by penalties on the line of scrimmage, and could be costly later on in the game.
I think they were saying he was off the line of scrimmage, and he should have been covering up the left tackle there.
Wow.
Tough one there. Erases a 32-yard throw and catch. Going right back at Green on that far sideline. He gets about half the penalty. He gets the penalty and a couple of yards back. And so it goes from 2nd and 15 to about 3rd and 7.
I mean, they have just been feeding Green this entire quarter, and now we're seeing the passing game started to open up. Just a little under a minute left. Let's see what they can do with the time running down.
Steamy night here at Philip Simmons High School. Tight game. Both teams with first quarter touchdowns. If you're just joining us, It was pouring for about, 2 hours, maybe 90 minutes before this game. Even rained during our open in the press box, if you can believe it. But the rain has subsided, and a wet, muggy Friday night for Friday Night Rivals Week 3. But all in all, could have been a lot worse. And good to see a pretty good football game despite the field conditions.
Yeah, good to see the crowd out, too. Cheerleaders have been weathering the storm. They got here when we got here around a little over an hour and a half before the game. And good atmosphere out here tonight, and we got a good game on our hands. Heading in with a little under a minute left in the first half.
Orellana rolling this way. Little out route. Has it to Beard. He's banged out of bounds. That'll stop the clock and bring up third down and manageable. Check that. That's actually the freshman Brody Tonnen. Little halfback. Plays kind of like a tight end. Sticks his nose in there and blocks quite a bit. That time he gets to catch a pass, and he'll set up third down and short.
Yeah, nice little block slip on the outside and a little bit of a check down pass. But good job of him holding on to the ball. He got a little bit of a lick there at the end.
May very well be his first high school reception.
What a way to do it on Friday Night Rivals on my TV. They're playing off the slot a little bit here. Something to watch out for.
Little bubble screen to the far side. Breaking free for the first down. Beard just kind of lowered his nose and picked up 4 or 5 right down to the 30.
That's exactly what I was saying. Beard was lined up in the slot, like I said, and they were playing off him. They saw, checked at the line of scrimmage, did a little bubble screen to him on the outside. Was able to get enough yards to pick up the first down.
That's Tonnen again.
It's Tonnen again. We can't seem to get his name right.
Well, they're covered in mud, too, so it doesn't make it easy. Orellana rolling this way. Tucks it, runs, has the first down inside the 20-yard line, well within Gore's field goal range. Philip Simmons knocking on the door right at 30 seconds to play in the half.
Yeah, Orellana put his head down, and a nice head fake by him to get the defender, made it look like he was going to lateral, and then just took off, put his head down, and then he slid. You see how slick the field is, slid about 10 yards further after he hit the ground.
Timeout asked for by Philip Simmons. You could see as these guys hit the ground, once they're tackled, there is definitely an element of hydroplaning. Tells you how much water there's actually out there on this football field.
Yeah, definitely. It's like an 8-year-old's dream, but I don't know if it's exactly what you want when you're playing on Friday Night Rivals. Reminds me of kind of the backyard bowls you used to have as a kid where you'd run around and slide around. You were playing out in the middle of the rain, and that's what football's about. This is fun. Played as a kid, fun game. And now you're here full pad sliding around and battling with one of your rivals.
So Orellana runs for the first down. Seen a little bit of everything on this drive. Freshman with a couple of first down catches. Run and slide by Orellana, and now Philip Simmons looking to add to a 1-point lead here in the final 32.5 seconds of the first half.
Oriana, a lot of leadership from Oriana as a sophomore coming in to replace that senior went to Citadel.
Orellana near the line of scrimmage, threw that one away to stop the clock. It'll be second down.
Yeah, tried to find his man in the corner of the end zone. I thought that might have been Q Green over there, but still a little bit of a hard throw to make that on the run, rolling out to the right side.
From right here, it'd be about a 35-yard field goal. Gore's already hit from 42 this year, but the snap and the hold are the tricky part tonight. Down the near sideline, just out of the reach of Stevenson, would have come down probably out of bounds. It would be third down.
He went to that right pylon again, but Timberland, I mean, we talked about Stevenson earlier. He is a guy to look out for, and we're going to be hearing his name on Saturdays here pretty soon, and Timberland knows that and had to make sure they had a bunch of guys on him going into that right corner.
Here's a good look at Troy Stevenson. Had an 88-yard touchdown catch last week against Georgetown. Would like one here. Orellana looking in the end zone, has time. Timberland dropped everyone underneath to Stevenson.
Got to get out of bounds.
Gets away. He'll keep his feet, knocked out of bounds inside the 5, but it would have been fourth down and probably a field goal attempt, but Philip Simmons will have, in the final seconds of the first half, a crack at the end zone.
That's why you never give up on the play. Push through that first contact. He's able to drive his feet, spin out, go towards the sideline. Great play by Stevenson there, not giving up on the play. I was telling him to go out of bounds, make sure you save some of that clock. And he looked like he wanted to get in that end zone.
7.9 seconds to play in the first half. 2 backs behind Orellana. Fumbled the snap. And that will mean a timeout for Philip Simmons. It wasn't long ago the play-by-play announcer was talking about how the snap was one of the tougher parts of the game tonight.
Yeah, it showed there. I mean, right when they start to do the air attack, you think the ball's starting to get a little dry. Yeah, it just takes one bad snap. And now it looks like we might have time for maybe 1, 2. Could Philip Simmons get a buzzer beater here at the end of the half? Interesting to see.
Griffin Gore's on the field. Range is a non-issue here. The snap and the hold are.
I don't know, Zeke. What would I feel like this is a judgment call here. You're up by 1. You're about 4 yards out. You can try and go for the touchdown and really put the nail in the coffin in here, or you can just play the safe bet and set the field goal unit out. And it's looking like they're going to send the. Yeah, they're going to play it safe here, send the field goal unit out. I mean, it makes sense. It's a smart play. Cushion that lead up a little bit. Don't want to make too many mistakes. You'd rather come away with some points here, the last play of the first half.
Chip shot for Gore. Snap's good. Hold is as well, and Gore bangs it through. That's how the first half ends. Philip Simmons, an impressive 2-minute drive to get some points just before the break. These two teams traded. First quarter touchdowns. They played through a lot of rain early. Very wet field here tonight at Philip Simmons High School. But a really entertaining first 24 minutes. We're going to go down to the sidelines with Trooper Bob. He will be with Philip Simmons head coach Eric Bendig.
Hey, Coach, you got a wet field, but you're able to score. You're taking the lead. What are your thoughts on the first half?
We're a little sloppy right now. A couple of penalties that we've done on ourselves. Obviously, that little bit of fumble right there. We were able to come out with some points, so that's good. But we just got to stop making some penalties, and defense is really holding right now.
Thank you very much, Coach. Best of luck on the second half. There you go. You think it's a ground game because the ball's so wet, but they're able to put it in the air. That rain has stopped. That's not stopping them from throwing. I'll send it back to you guys.
Wet field, but it's drying out a little bit, and Philip Simmons able to find a little bit of passing game there in the final minutes of the first half. They drive it down and get a field goal that could prove to be key later.
Welcome to the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report.
Season, Philip Simmons handed Timberland their only loss in a 9-1 campaign that led to the second round of the state playoffs. This is the Palmetto Pride halftime report. This season, Philip Simmons trying to make it 2 in a row over the Wolves. Each week, David Ayler Law Offices and Riders Law Group is proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The students selected will have an opportunity to win a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Tonight's scholar athletes are, and this is a first from Philip Simmons, Isabella Corbett. She has a 5.36 GPA, number 1 in her class academically. First female that we featured here. First non-football player that we featured here on Friday Night Rivals. Certainly deserving star volleyball player and the senior class vice president.
Go Izzy. That's more than I was doing in high school.
Izzy Corbett, the scholar athlete of the week, student athlete of the week, and scholar athlete of the week from Philip Simmons High School. And for Timberland High School, it is the man we talked about in our open, Keyshawn Brown, a 4.12 GPA for the senior, an all-region and all-state selection in football, active in and around Berkeley County in a number of youth programs and other programs. Keyshawn Brown from Timberland High School, your David Ayler Law Office's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Wet one, but good one here at Philip Simmons High School. Halftime right now, 10-6 our score. The Iron Horses with the lead over the Wolves. Couple of first-quarter touchdowns, late field goal from Philip Simmons, and our halftime score, Philip Simmons 10, Timberland 6.
Welcome to the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report.
Back to Philip Simmons Stadium. Halftime here in Philip Simmons Stadium. Score is 10-6. Philip Simmons over Timberland. Time and temperature right now here at the stadium is around 8:52 right now. Around 73 degrees. That time and temperature brought to you by Holy City Heating and Air. Provides solutions for every season. 70 degrees. Now around 8:55 as I'm taking that right now. Holy City Heating and Air, time and temperature.
On a normal night, we would have our Delta Force All-Stars cheer of the game, and we're going to try to bring you that in the second half. But because we were in an absolute quagmire up until kickoff,
monsoon,
our cheer groups could not do their cheer of the night, so they were rained on. It really just wasn't practical from a production standpoint because they didn't want to be out here and so on and so forth. So we skipped our Delta Force All-Stars cheer of the game, and we're going to try to do that live in the second half if we can make that happen. And may not have a vote. We might just pick a winner, and we might just let them both win for being out there in the rain here tonight. But you got to roll with the punches when you're getting an inch of rain an hour on Friday Night Rivals. So we did just that, and we'll see what we can do in the second half of this one. Good football game here at Philip Simmons High School at halftime. 10-6 is our score. Philip Simmons with the lead. Have some first half highlights for you on the other side of this break. A little bit of everything as the rain has subsided. The field's still very wet and muddy, but again, a good one here on Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet. This is the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report.
We'll be right back with more from the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report. Welcome to the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report.
Halftime here at Philip Simmons High School. Said it a couple of times already, but a wet one. There's a Palmetto Pride Halftime Report. Litter trashes everyone. Wet one here. A little less so now than earlier, but 10-6 our score at halftime as the field, it's hanging in, but becoming in worse and worse shape. Footing's going to be key here in the second half, but at least the rain has subsided.
Yeah, hanging on by a thread maybe, but yeah, starting to see some of those holes out in the middle of the center field, but once they get those cleats back in the turf in the second half, it'll be interesting to see how it holds up.
Later on tonight, we'll hand out a trophy and Scholar Athlete plaques. And that trophy and Scholar Athlete plaques at the end of the season are provided by All-American Awards, helping Charleston recognize excellence since 1993. So special thanks to All-American Awards for providing those trophies tonight and throughout the season. Entertaining opening 24 minutes. There's a lot of action in this one.
This is about all you could ask for in a rivalry game here at halftime. And,
first half highlights to look at. A couple of big touchdowns in the opening half. Amir Milligan, the 44-yard touchdown run. Isaiah Schimpf pounding it in for Philip Simmons. There's a look at him. And again, we're seeing everything a little bit after you are at home. So We stay a little behind at times, but Milligan, nice job getting in the end zone when he reaches on that touchdown run. And Schimpf just power football.
Lower the head and get yourself into the end zone.
A key field goal there at the end of the first half. Gore banging it through. We'll see if that one pays off dividends at the end of this one for Eric Bendig's squad. You could see when Gore hit the football, you could see the water explode off the football. That tells you how wet it is out there tonight. 4-point lead for Philip Simmons at the half. Week 3 Friday night rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
Welcome to the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report.
Four-point lead for Philip Simmons at halftime here at Philip Simmons High School over Timberland. A couple of touchdowns in the first quarter, running touchdowns for both teams. 4-point lead for the Iron Horses. What do you think changed in the second quarter? Was it the field conditions? Maybe get a little muddier and teams don't have the same footing, but what slowed down the scoring that we saw in the first quarter?
I don't know. I think it might have just been that the field conditions might have been definitely played a big factor, but I think these teams are just starting to get used to each other. You saw some of those first drives, some big plays on the outside, and really getting out of those, hitting those fresh legs of those defenses. But once you get the field conditions starting to deteriorate a little bit, and after a while, those running backs can get a little tired, and I think these teams really just locked in the second quarter. You saw those defenses really start to load the box, and where we saw the most success in that second quarter was Philip Simmons at the end of the half in the air attack, and I think that's going to be the key coming into the second half is who can pass the ball is going to be the one who's going to be able to win this game.
No one has a tougher job around the Low Country tonight than Scotty Eisberg and Natalie Spalla. They're going school to school to school in and out of a wet car to chase down highlights. Join ABC News 4, Scotty Eisberg and Natalie Spalla tonight on Friday Night Rivals. At 11:05, they'll have scores and highlights from throughout the Low Country. Next week, we're on Daniel Island for week number 4 of Friday Night Rivals. Bishop England hosts Woodland. Here's a good look at the Philip Simmons cheerleading squad warming up here at halftime. 4-point game at halftime. Teams coming out of the locker room. Philip Simmons leads Timberland by 4.
Cheerleaders having a great job tonight being out there in the rain. We start to see the rain come out a little bit more.
There's the mad rush for everyone to go chase down their punches. Made some communications, so we're filling some halftime time here. We had a couple of extra minutes added to the halftime clock, so it didn't quite match up with our halftime break as the teams come out for their extra couple of minutes of grace period.
Yeah.
And the rain is starting to fall again here at Philip Simmons High School.
You start to see a lot of the student section reaching for their umbrellas, ponchos coming out. It started to look like the beginning of the game again. I wonder how much this rain is going to come down, but I don't know about you, Zeke. I kind of like this. I like it because I'm in the booth probably, but I like the seeing these teams battle in the rain. It's really like Friday night rivals, Friday night lights almost, and this is what some of these memories are going to be made out of, especially in a game like this where it's so close. It's a rivalry game. Philip Simmons, only team to beat Timberland last year, and keeping them from a perfect season and be able to battle it out in the rain is a pretty cool thing for both these teams.
Bob, tough conditions down there. Greg Wright, what are his thoughts on the first half?
Hey, Coach, what are your thoughts on your first half? You're only down by 4. What'd you tell your team?
You just got to fight through adversity, keep playing, keep tackling, keep getting on the ground. Like I said, they got a great ball club, guys that can really run, so we just got to do a great job of keeping them corralled.
Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck on the second half. If there's any doubt, it's starting to rain now, but look at any doubt on how wet this field is. Take a look at this. This is just me and my shoes here, but as you can see, when they're tackling and they're kicking, this field is just a sponge. It's 100 yards of a slip and slide.
It's not a good night to be on the bottom of the pile, is it?
No, and it's starting to rain now too.
Oh, geez.
Well, that'll play a factor in the second half.
It's like taking a little bit of a bath during the middle of a football game. Not sure that's exactly what they thought was going to happen tonight, but sometimes you just, in the name of the game of football, you got to play with the cards that you're dealt. And we're seeing a lot of slip and sliding throughout this game tonight.
Good crowd hanging in here tonight at Philip Simmons High School, filling until trying to get to our second half kickoff. Team's a little late coming out of the locker room, but both teams loosening up for the second half and what should be a final and an exciting final 24 minutes here at Philip Simmons High School. Iron Horses have been really gracious hosts to us here tonight. And a nice new high school facility at Philip Simmons. The field, however, is going to be put to the test. Last week they had their first overtime game, or 2 weeks ago they had their first overtime game. And tonight this beautiful field taking a beating after what was a very, very wet couple of weeks in Charleston.
I feel like this grounds crew is going to need a little bit of some overtime here at the field. Not only you saw literally overtime last week, but now you're getting you saw what Trooper Bob showed you a little bit earlier, just that sponge-like atmosphere or surface down on that field to the point where it's not going to be fun to clean up tomorrow morning. Good atmosphere out here tonight, though. Lots of fans, cheerleaders getting into it. Even a couple of the supporters from Timberland making it all the way down, making the long trip down here to Philip Simmons. And we're starting to see these fans who a lot more umbrellas out right now, looking like the rain is not coming down too hard, enough to play some football, but going good there. And if you want to see there, 76 on your screen. That is the big man for Timberland, Desmond Green, 340-pound freshman, and a big boy for Timberland down there hiking the ball, and they got some trust in him as we saw in the first half. Right there. Players starting to warm up once again for Philip Simmons. Timberland getting hype, and both teams getting back into it. They got to get their minds straight. It is going to be a crucial second half. Lots of energy in the stadium here. 10-6 Philip Simmons leads by 4.
Set for second half action. Thanks for that. I appreciate the little break.
You know, I'm working for you, man. Always trying to make sure you get your drink your water, get your break, do what you need to do. You can take the second half off if you want.
I don't think I can. We say it every week. The sponsors make this happen. The sponsors want to see the kids on television, and we're appreciative of our sponsors every week in and out here on Friday Night Rivals, presented by Cruise Chevrolet. But there's an element of this. TV is very expensive to produce and to make this happen. We have to jump through some hoops sometimes, and we're doing that again here tonight. But just set for the second half action and ready for this one.
Yeah, when it all comes down to it, it's all about the football, and we're happy to finally, here at the second half, what's supposed to be a pretty good one, and let's get to it. Let's play some football.
Yeah, when we last played football, it hadn't rained in a while.
It seems like, yeah, I know. You're talking about at the end of the first half, the field conditions. Now add around like 30 minutes of rain to that. We're going to see some people slide in across this field for this second half.
Stevenson and Green are deep. Big drive here for Philip Simmons to open the second half, trying to make it a 2-possession game. Timberland, short kick. Stevenson, he got the Sunday hop. Has some space and has some footing. Cuts it out near the 40, and he's slung down at the 42-yard line. You don't have to work very hard to see when you look on camera where the soft spots are, where the hard spots are. And my advice to the ball carriers, head for the high ground.
Yeah, there you go. Head for the high ground. Hold on to that ball.
Sophomore Tavian Orellana has done a nice job distributing and running this offense, given the circumstances. This is just his 4th career start, and this is the weather he's been dealt. A nice job handling the ball. Opens the second half here in the shotgun. Looks like KJ Asbury next to him. First snap of the second half, and Asbury just bulls his way for about 6, 8, 9 feet, something like that, 2-3 yards, and decent gain on first down. We've said his name a lot tonight. Cameron Akins on the bottom of that pile. He's got a sack and gets up out of the mud yet again.
Yeah, he's been really big for this Timberland defense and anchoring that front line for trying to defend this group of running backs that we've been talking about a lot today.
Josh Hamm also up out of the mud late there for the Wolves. You can see Asbury. He just kind of has to take that tender step, and there's no putting your foot in the ground and going tonight.
No. And you gotta watch and see where your soft spots are. There's definitely some hollow spots to those holes going down the field. I just want to point out Ja'Kerry Simmons coming up with a great tackle on that play too. Ja'Kerry Simmons making sure he grabbed that leg to make sure that running back didn't take it off there. But you're right. No, you got to be careful where you walk on this, or run, I should say, on this field.
Inside give. Williams going to be close. Big collision over that left side, and he's right at the sticks. It'll depend on the spot.
That was Ja'Kerry Williams again coming in, meeting him right up front. But it looks like Simmons got a little bit of a push there. It's going to be a first down.
Williams able to get the best of Ja'Kerry Simmons for 2 yards. It's not hard to find Ja'Kerry Simmons on the football field. He's the one with the uniform completely covered in mud.
I was about to say, the dirtiest white jersey on the field. That must be like a badge of pride at the end of the game.
Gant in motion, little screen this way, skip to Stevenson, and that's her first real miss by Orellana, but who really knows what that football feels like right now?
Yeah, especially how much water has gone on this field in the past 30 minutes. Yeah, Orellana has his work cut out for him.
Ball boy comes out, makes a quick swap. Opening minutes of the second half, 10-6, Philip Simmons leads. Zeke Beam, Sean Mahoney, Trooper Bob here tonight. Inside give, Schimpf. He's been sure-footed, and he's very north and south, and that makes it a little easy in these conditions. He picks up 6 yards. He's got the only touchdown of the night for the Iron Horses. Nice job of hanging on by Logan Gaskins.
Jim's doing a good job in staying that north to south lane too. The field is a little bit seems to be a little bit less beat up in between those hash marks, and that's where he likes to play.
End around. Asbury bounced once, bounced twice, squirts through. Take that back. That's Williams. And Josh Hamm, who's played about every snap tonight, going to ask for a little bit of break.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
He made the tackle there, and he gets up and he just looks gassed. He's give me just a breather or two.
He had about 2-3 tackles on this drive as well, so well deserved on that way. And Sherrod Williams has been workhorse for this drive, and you get the luxury of being able to switch out these running backs and give Strempf the break, or give some of these other workhorses a break, and Williams doing really well in this first couple plays.
Reuben Lawrence in there, wide open is Stevenson, and he'll score. Try to get a sub in, and just like that, Stevenson slips through the defense and has a 48-yard catch and run.
Stevenson, there was, like you said, it must have been a miscommunication on Timberland's side. Didn't really seem like we had a safety back there. And Stevenson caught the ball, turned around, and said, "Hey, I got free. There's no one in front of me. Got a free walk to the end zone." And Philip Simmons, a big play for the Iron Horses, as they'll take a nice lead to start the second half.
A lot of people feel like Stevenson is going to be a corner in college, but there he was a pretty good wide receiver.
Yeah.
Gore bangs it through, and that puts the exclamation point on the Trident Technical College touchdown. Trident Technical College, your future, your college.
We were talking about earlier at the end of that half, they were looking for Stevenson in that end zone, and Stevenson has that deep threat ability. Like you said, cornerback, wide receiver, he could do it all, and he's going to be someone we told you to watch out for, and great play on that, and a great throw by Oriana, too. Make sure to put it on the money.
So Philip Simmons, 17 unanswered. They have a touchdown run from Schimpf and a TD reception by Stevenson. And they score. You talk about those last 2-3 minutes before the half and the last 2-3 minutes coming out in the half, and Philip Simmons really bookends halftime very well there. They scored 10 unanswered, and they've opened up a 2-possession lead.
Those are some of the most important points of the game, too, really setting the tone here in the second half, or setting the tone going into halftime.
A little bit of a snap hook there from Griffin Gore. That'll go out of bounds, and that will give the Wolves good field position.
Yeah, but it's like you said, Iron Horses, they came out of halftime. Stevenson gets the touchdown. It's a good start to the half for them, but Timberland, this is a good opportunity to show how will they respond. You got punched in the mouth early in this half, and now let's try to rely on it and see what Gavin Gaskins can do, and rely on some of your wide receivers, Rashad White or Gavin Edwards, Keyshawn Brown, your running back, Demarion Hampton, Middleton. You got a lot of weapons out there. See if this offense can get something going at the start of this first drive.
Kylan Brown in the shotgun here on the first snap of the third quarter for the Wolves. And he'll go for a couple of yards, but a penalty flag comes in. Motion on Timberland. It'll cost him 5 yards and make it 1st and 15. Got to find some sort of yellow sponsor for these penalties.
You got to find what's the banana company? Like a banana or a
Dole or Chiquita. Chiquita's the way. You can't give them any free advertising.
No, we don't want to
ask me what a company's name is.
That's fair.
So a 5-yard penalty to start this drive for the Wolves. Of course, you have to bill them incrementally, so you just go back how many penalties were in the game, and that's what your bill is.
We'll be contacting them at the end of the game.
Little running room plowing ahead. I believe that's Amir Milligan. That would be wrong. That was Demarion Middleton. Middleton and Milligan have swapped out a running back throughout the night for Timberland.
A little bit hard for the play-by-play announcer in the booth to get those last names.
Last week, James Island had 3 players with the last name Scott all on their offense. So you just throw the last names out the door.
Or you just say Scott every time and you're never wrong.
Good look at DeMar in Middleton. He's run hard tonight. Got the start at running back, and he's found a seam or two. Keyshawn Brown in motion. Kylan Brown rolling that way, sets his feet, takes a shot downfield, but out of real estate is the aforementioned Keyshawn Brown. It'll be 3rd down.
Good coverage down the field by the Iron Horses. Looks like we had Michael Spignardo there on the coverage with a slew of the other defensive players. But it's good to see Gavin Gaskins air it out. I feel like we haven't, besides maybe 1 or 2 plays, we haven't seen this Wolves offense really go through the passing attack and try to test these Iron Horse defense through the air. So we got a big 3rd and 10 here. Let's see if they can actually get some connections on this one.
Brown in the shotgun, walking back and forth. Logan Gaskins, and a whistle comes in. Another penalty, another invoice.
We got to start writing these down.
Nah.
Or we got to find the other yellow things that could go in place of it. I was more thinking Mario Kart banana. Just throw them up there.
Credit where credit is due. Philip Simmons' defense has really settled in since early in this football game. Defensive coordinator Alex Renner and company. They had 8 tackles for loss last week in the win over Georgetown, and they have become really active after that early touchdown by the Wolves. Little throw and catch to get some breathing room here for Timberland, but Brown, that might be Gavin Edwards. I think that's actually Gavin Gaskins. I think he's listed as 11 on our roster, but
well, that is Gavin Edwards.
Just because they say it on the PA doesn't make it right.
That is fair. That's fair.
Happens all the time. You get a new set of uniforms, and sometimes names get confusing. Iron Horses come after that one. Nice kick. Taking it to 25 and falling on. Nice job by Beard to cover that up. That was a boot. That might actually have been Gaskins as well. 45-yard punt, and Riley Beard dives on it. Yeah. And if you can't tell at home, it has opened up here at Philip Simmons High School Stadium.
Feels like it comes in waves. You think it's done, and then Mother Nature's like, you know what? It's about halfway through the 3rd quarter. Let's just get a little more wet down here. At this point, if you're some of the players, though, a little more rain, I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make. You're already pretty wet down there.
Isaac Schimpf was late coming on, but I bet you he gets the football anyway. He does, and he's stacked up over that left side. Keeps his legs moving. And maybe a little something out of nothing.
He's a real tough-nosed guy. Like you were saying, runs north to south and not afraid to put his head down and get some contact in the trenches there.
Pretty heavy rain right now at Philip Simmons High School Stadium. Wet one between the Wolves and the Iron Horses. Clock runs here in the 3rd quarter. Schimpf again for a couple. And that'll bring up 3rd down and long, but Philip Simmons with a 2-score lead. They're probably just going to try to keep this one moving. I kid you not, we're getting rained on in the press box.
Lean your head back.
It's
coming in. It's coming in.
Awesome. That is a first for me.
I've never had an experience where you could feel like you're not on the field and on the field at the same time.
Orlana to throw. Has time. And a pretty valiant effort by everyone on the football field. These conditions are just tough. Didn't come out of his hand clean, not a man, but what can you do in this sort of situation? And this is really a situation you would much rather have a turf field.
100%.
I love grass, don't get me wrong. But because you can't handle the football. Football gets muddy. You cannot pass the football. That's the only downside of grass versus turf. Nice thing is when it's middle of August, grass is just a little bit cooler.
Yeah. And you get that little, like, old school, like, playing on grass and feeling like the true football roots. But, yeah, a little bit of a muff punt there.
Snap mishandled and then just booted away. Keyshawn Brown will get away from it, and somehow off the low snap, that still ends up being 42-yard punt.
Wow. Impressive in these conditions.
The skies have opened up here at Philip Simmons High School. Under 6 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Philip Simmons, an early opening touchdown to start this second half, and the Iron Horses have seized control in this one. 17-6 our score. Week number 3 of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruise Chevrolet. Second possession of the second half for the Timberland Wolves. Pretty steady rain here at Philip Simmons High School. And first down and 10 for the Timberland Wolves. Brown in that little pistol set, some running room. Milligan had a huge hole coming this way, found 3 or 4 yards over the other side, and he's out near the 40-yard line.
Good job by the offensive line there, holding their blocks and letting Milligan get through that hole on the right side. And you remember at the end of the first half, we saw the most passing of the game. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say might not see that much for the rest of this one.
Milligan a little give, stacked up and stopped near the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down. Quickly upfield and really horse collaring him down in a legal fashion, if you will, was Chip Carlson. Also, I believe Tyshawn Green and Devontae McNeil in on that wrap-up. Key third down play, 4.5 minutes to play third quarter. Timberland needs a little bit of a drive. Gaskins in motion. Plowing over that left side and picking up about half of what they needed is Middleton. Haven't talked much about these safeties. Haven't needed to. Spignardo, Q Green, That time a nice stop by Sherrod Williams. Running back and defensive end. How about that?
Dude on both sides of the ball. And I don't know if you noticed, good form tackle. He went right for the ball, tried to go for the strip. Yeah, men can do it all on both sides of the field.
Weak snap here, throws off the rhythm for his punter. And I think Gaskins collects it and boots it out of bounds. Does a nice job of just fielding it and making something out of nothing. When he's had a free swing at it, he's hammered it tonight.
Oh, yeah.
But didn't have a good snap to work with there.
Yeah, like we said, this rain really starting to come down and affect these snaps. And when you get into long shotgun snaps like you see in the punt formation, yep, you're going to have a little bit of slipping on those ones. But Philip Simmons quickly getting out to the offensive set.
Two receivers either way. Schimpf in the backfield. Everyone in the stadium just about has their umbrella out. Didn't think we'd need one in the press box, but we did.
Wish I had one.
Throw and catch to Stevenson for 5 yards. It'll be second down.
Yeah, just what I said. I didn't think I'd see that many more passes tonight. Stevenson's like, no, I'm still here.
That's just a long handoff, really.
Yeah.
It's going to be time for Eric Bendig to start leading on that offensive line. Bryton Waters, Quamaine Vaughn, Daniel Scarth, L.J. Goss, Lawson Tosh. Lean on that front line. See if you can't grind up some clock.
And they've been doing a great job protecting Oriana in the backfield tonight.
Schimpf keeps the legs moving. He's near first down yardage. Dragging defenders with him. I think it was Ethan Milligan that was hanging on. But not before Schimpf gets very close to a Mr. Sparky first down. It's going to be a 2-for-1 here, I think, for Mr. Sparky. Iron Horses running a little clock. It's on their side. Tonnen pulls and over that left side, picking up about a step, and I think what he needed was Schimpf.
Schimpf has just impressed me this whole game with how determined he runs the football. I don't think I've seen him go down on the first point of contact at all this game, and he's been really, really fun to watch.
You said Brody Tonnen's name a lot tonight. A couple of catches. The freshman making a key block there. Just a little toss sweep here. I think that's Asbury. No, that's actually Williams that had the carry. Gain of 1, but the clock runs third quarter. And you get the feeling right now Philip Simmons has enough defense to win the game if they don't make a mistake on offense.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is they need to take care of the football. You can grind down the field all you want, take as much time as the clock, but you cannot turn over the ball.
Orellana wanted Gant, but nicely covered there by who else? Keyshawn Brown up from his safety spot. Knew what was coming, had that scouted, and came up and shut it off, and that's 3rd and 9. Sets up 3rd and 9.
They're going to pass. You got to know that Keyshawn Brown is going to be in the area, especially if you're wanting to go a little bit deeper down than just a dump off.
.83 seconds to play third quarter. 17 unanswered from Philip Simmons. That dates all the way back to the first quarter.
This would be a huge stop here for Timberland if they could get one. Try and get some momentum back on their side.
Orellana looking up the right side, throws into double coverage, intercepted.
Oh!
Edwards with it, makes one man miss, and now will be shoved out of bounds deep in Philip Simmons territory at the 13-yard line. Edwards just playing center field, read that one the whole way. Philip Simmons decided to take a shot. Orellana hung it out there. And just like that, this script could be flipped.
I mean, and was our script not perfect enough? Literally just 3 plays ago we were talking about all Philip Simmons needed. Philip Simmons needed to not turn over the ball, and a great play there. This replay sponsored by Cruz Chevrolet. Cruz Chevrolet on Rivers. You got a friend in the car business. Gavin Edwards, what a pick there in a run back, and huge play for Timberland.
Middleton bulls his way for a couple of yards. Now a little scrap after the play, but Philip Simmons holding its line. Keep going back and forth because Gavin Edwards is listed at 5'9" on the roster. That's the name. And Gavin Edwards, if he is 5'9" and that's Gavin Edwards, he's not 5'9".
No, there's no way. There's no way.
That is a 6-foot man right there.
He is. If he's 5'9", then you got to be like 6'7".
He might be 6'1". That's my point of confusion. Middleton looking for some room over the right side. Just nothing doing against this Iron Horse defense right now. Stacked up across the front. Haven't said their names enough tonight. McNeil, Green, Smalls, Williams in there. Next line is Gant, Asbury, Carlson. That front seven. Outside of that first Amir Milligan touchdown run has controlled this football game, and they are a big reason Philip Simmons will take a lead into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they got to really hold on deep. This could be a crucial point in the game. If those front seven can hold on at the start of this fourth quarter, it could be a smooth ride to the end for the Iron Horses.
Philip Simmons leads by 11, but Timberland on the move. Score here would make a world of difference to start the fourth quarter. Week number 3, 12 minutes left of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Final 12 minutes of week number 3 on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Philip Simmons, an 11-point lead over Timberland. Key third down coming up for the Wolves. Creeping up on the Philip Simmons red zone. Probably need a touchdown. Quick to the line go the Wolves. Turn goes to Milligan. Bounces it out, then cuts it back, and he'll have about half of what he needs. It'll set up 4th and 3. And you have to think Greg Wright is going to go for it.
Yeah, at this point in the game, you need to get something on the board, or at least take that shot, because the way we've seen the Iron Horses, minus that last interception, they can bleed the clock throughout the rest of this fourth quarter. So looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field, and This could be a big play for Timberland in terms of how the rest of this game is going to go.
Middleton's the deep back. He gets to carry. Over the right side, finds space and a seam and a first down inside the 10-yard line.
Huge play by Middleton, and not only Middleton, but I would say that we have the whole offensive line for Timberland has been putting in a lot of work on that play. Big first down, great first down, and it is going to be our first down sponsored by West Shore Homes, America's most admired home remodeling brand, and probably the biggest one of the game.
No bigger than that, though. Slicing through and for the touchdown is Middleton. Back-to-back big runs for Timberland, seemingly up against a wall. The last couple of quarters, they break through here early in the fourth, and just like that, we're back to a one-possession game.
Middleton coming up clutch. I wasn't even finished with my sentence, and he said, you know what, Sean, you can stop talking now because I'm going to go put this ball in the end zone. And that's exactly what he did. Huge drive for Timberland, and it looks like they're going to go for two.
Trying to cut it to a three-point game. Middleton again. Don't think he got it. They say no good. But Timberland gets what they needed. They had to have a touchdown, and it's a 5-point game. All on the legs of Damari Middleton. 5'10", 195-pound junior.
Middleton, a big proponent of that drive. Came out of the fourth quarter. This is what Timberland needs. This is the closest they have been to a win all season. And now it's time to put it into third gear and try and get another defensive stop. They've been able to stop this Philip Simmons offense before, as you see Middleton powering him for the touchdown there. They've been able to get some stops before. They're going to have to come up with another one here.
Really good job. Looked like Eli Williams and maybe Cameron Adkins. I think Adkins was in there on the touchdown run on the offensive line, plowing it over the left side there. Those guys just kind of pushed everything out and created the seam for Middleton, and we're back to a one-possession game. The interception turns it around, and a couple of big runs by Middleton, and now Philip Simmons trying to answer back. Q Green, I think, pops it free, and he'll set up the Iron Horses in Timberland territory.
No,
it was not. That was Troy Stevenson.
Stevenson's been the man of the hour today, and wow, with it suddenly, Zeke, this game, it seemed like in the second quarter we kind of stalled with the offense, and now it's coming from all sides, and action from the defense, special teams, offensive side of the ball, and we got ourselves a good one with a little over 10 minutes to go here in the game.
Direct snap to start the drive over the left side. Asbury with running room. Asbury breaks free. Asbury down the left sideline. That's an answer. Touchdown, Iron Horses.
Anything you could do, I could do better, is what Asbury said. And what an answer. Give up a touchdown, want to get it right back, and that's a way for Philip Simmons really to try and stick it to the Timberland. A little bit of a demoralizing play, but Asbury, we talked about it. He has that speed on the outside, and in contrast to some of his other partners in the backfield, and what a play. Turning on the burners. Great job by Asbury.
It's a Trident Technical College touchdown. Your future, your college. Trident Technical College. KJ Asbury with the house call. Line drive on the PAT. The core knocks it through. And 2 touchdowns in about a minute in this one. And a couple of big plays on special teams and defense turning into offense. There's the interception by Edwards in the return, and then Stevenson's big kickoff return set up the touchdown for Philip Simmons. And now we got a little back and forth going.
Yeah, the replay sponsored by West Shore Homes, America's most admired home remodeling brand, shows Asbury keeps it himself, and he can do it all. You can give him it directly, you can hand it off to him, and he's got that speed that's that's next level speed, especially for someone his age. I feel like he's more of the agile running back of the trio that Philip Simmons has, and boy, he can turn on those jets.
Gore on to kick off. He will in all likelihood bang it through the end zone.
He's got a leg, doesn't he?
It's a weapon in high school. I mean, it can be almost every possession 15-yard, 20-yard advantage if you have someone that can kick it that far.
Definitely, and especially if you're getting consistent touchbacks too, you're not even allowing them to be able to run it up, and there's some dangerous returners here in the Low Country, so it's good. Oh.
Low line drive. Did it stay inside the pylon? No, and now he's hit 2. Just as we brag on him.
This guy's got a great.
He's hit 2 back-to-back out of bounds.
I wouldn't blame him so much as the field conditions that we're seeing today. Maybe that plant leg isn't as sturdy with what we're seeing here at Philip Simmons Field. Oh.
So the ball comes out to the 35-yard line. Timberland will go on offense. 24-12 our score. Brown, little inside give. Middleton again, working over that left side. I think we're starting to see, as we look at that replay, starting to see some new bodies in on that left side of the line. We talked about Adkins. Number there we don't have on our roster.
Like Devontae Moore's in there. Kasim Liferidge is in there.
Gain of about 4, maybe 5. And the clock working against Brown down to the right side. Will fire it, hanging out there for Keyshawn Brown, and came back to it but couldn't come up with it.
Wow, that would have been a huge play for the Wolves. But you know what? I think Brown, who tried to come back to it and get it, but great play. I think great play by Chip Carlson. Chip Carlson was the one who came in and got his hand in there, and it seemed like Brown might have been able to get back, and if he could have caught a head of steam on the left side, he might have had something down the field. But Chip Carlson, great play there by Carlson, the senior linebacker, getting down the field, tussling all the way down there, getting the hand on that ball. And a huge play for Philip Simmons as we have a huge third down coming up here for Timberland. And it's going to be a handoff again, but now we got a early whistle. And looks like we got a delay of game for Timberland. And that's not what the Tigers want to hear, as they're going to be moved back even further down the field. It's going to be about a 3rd and 11 for the Wolves. And at this point, we got about a little under 10 minutes left. I wonder if you're the Wolves, if you're going to want to have to try and get something in the air. You just missed one big down the field as he dropped. Gasson's going to drop back, try to throw. He's going to do something with his legs a little bit here, but not enough for that first down that they needed.
Is Thor still down?
Thanks for that.
Of course.
Jack of all trades. I appreciate you covering for me. So Brown out of bounds, but needed about 10 more. And so Timberland will have to punt. Beard deep on the punt return, and I think Timberland's going to kick it. Offense went off the field, and now I think they may have come back on.
Well, it's about that time. I would question the field position, but it's getting down in the fourth quarter, little under 10 minutes. You're down by 2 possessions. I guess head coach Gregory Wright is wondering if they can try and pull off some magic here in the fourth quarter.
So Bending asked for the timeout as Timberland ran their offense back on. And we'll remind you our upcoming schedule here on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Next week, we're right down the road on Daniel Island. Woodland at Bishop England. Following week, we go up to the Hanahan area, Porter Gout at Hanahan, and then we start getting into some of the big boys in the area.
Oh, the
Stratford at Somerville on September 30th, Berkeley at Wando, Cane Bay at Goose Creek.
That's going to be a good one.
Fort Dorchester, West Ashley, and then we get Timberland and Oceanside, our last game of the season. But Woodland at Bishop England, our game next Friday night. 7:30 p.m. kickoff for Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet here on MyTV Charleston.
They should have tuned into that one, too. Bishop England has been surprising a lot of people this year. Young football program, just young history of a football program, and they've been picking up some good wins, so it'll be interesting to see that game next week. It looks like they did make the decision to bring the punter out.
Fan Cam sponsored by Fan Zone, all your sports teams gear under one roof. Some Philip Simmons students still hanging out, making the most of their Friday night. Good punt here by Timberland, goes out of bounds at the 38-yard line, and it will bring up, the officials still walking, they say officially the 42. And a 1st and 10 for Philip Simmons. Well, now if you're Eric Bendig to get career win number 24 here at Philip Simmons, you'll just want to grind out a couple of first downs. Keeping it on the ground, Asbury, Schimpf, ground and pound, see if you can run some clock.
You got Simmons, too. I mean, you got the tools to do it, but it's just going to be a question of how effective can those running backs be.
A little bit of a direct snap. I think that was Asbury. Fakes it and takes it straight ahead and maybe pounded his way for 1 or 2.
Yeah, it looked like...
might have been Sherrod Williams.
Sherrod Williams or Ruben Lawrence might have been on that left end who came in and blocked that gap.
Clock runs in the 4th quarter. Under 9 minutes to play. Philip Simmons trying to drain the clock a little bit. Isaac Schimpf pounds it into the middle of the line. It'll pick up just a couple, and now we have
moving.
Good old-fashioned rugby scrum. They finally blow it dead after Schimpf picks up 3.
Those are some of my favorite moments, too. Just get in that pile, start pushing it, see how far you can get that ball down the field. Big boys, it's where you shine, and the O-line, especially for Philip Simmons' game, has been phenomenal. I haven't seen Oriana, or as now they have Asbury, taking a lot of the direct snaps, and we haven't seen much pressure getting back into that backfield from that O-line.
Letting the play clock run down. It's Schimpf on the carry over the left side, and the flag comes in from, well, really almost Mount Pleasant. And it's, I believe, going to be a holding against Philip Simmons, and it's going to come back 10 yards.
Good news for Timberland, but I think I just want to point out that might have been the first time I think we've seen Schimpf run laterally east to west and go to the outside. He's been the big body who goes down the middle. Fortunate penalty had to bring that one back.
Under 8 minutes to play, 24-12. Philip Simmons leads. Timberland struck first on a 44-yard touchdown run by Amir Milligan. Philip Simmons reeled off 17 straight, and now the two teams have traded touchdowns here in the opening minutes of the 4th quarter. Orellana, nice throw and catch. Tough conditions, picked up the first down. Little late push. And Michael Spignardo just basically went to the sticks, curled it in, and he has a key first down in this football game.
We were talking about Spignardo earlier, and good catch, little button hook route there. And that's a big first down for Philip Simmons now. Now they can really start to chew at this clock, try and dim the lights on Timberland's hope for a revenge game this season.
It's another West Shore Homes first down. West Shore Homes, America's most admired home remodeling brand. Schimpf pounds for a couple on first down. That'll keep the clock running, and it's now on the side of Philip Simmons.
Good job by Ethan Milligan. And it looked like Ethan Milligan and Cameron Atkins, and maybe Ruben Lawrence was in on that play too. We've been saying Milligan and Lawrence's names a lot these past halves, but you could tell just looking at that D line, you could see Lawrence a little bit there too. These guys are starting to get a little gassed. The constant run pressure by the Iron Horses, especially this late in the game. You got to start reaching into that gas tank, see what you got left.
2nd down and 8. Running room over the left side. Asbury hesitates and makes it 3rd down and manageable. You have to think maybe 4-down territory here for Philip Simmons, but trying to keep that clock running.
Yeah, I think if you get close enough down towards that end zone, you might be able to consider the 4-down territory, especially just because it gets so late in the game. Might as well just want to try and end it. And it's been without to say the least, it's been a long day for both sides throughout this rainstorm. Now we have Oriana back.
Third down and 4. Iron Horses get the first down. That is a West Shore Homes first down that will make Eric Bendig very happy, and that keeps the clock running here as the fourth quarter winds down. All sorts of...
Another Lupin first down. Lupin, the app you need for your health and wellness.
It's a good job by Tyler Cameron making that tackle, but a nice full head of steam from, I believe that was Sherrod Williams. Great run. Like you said, big first down for Philip Simmons. We're starting to see this clock wind down rapidly now. Timberland's going to need to make something happen.
Little toss sweep to Schimpf. Keeps his feet, powers his way for 4 or 5 on first down. All sorts of awards and people to recognize as we wind down this football game. Cool play of the game by Holy City Heating and Air. Cruz Chevrolet on Rivers. Drive of the game. Have to think when you talk about player of the game, maybe Troy Stevenson for Philip Simmons, maybe KJ Asbury.
Throw in Asbury. I would even say you could throw in Schimpf in there. He's got a touchdown, has been one of the more consistent runners today. A lot of good people on the offensive side of Philip Simmons.
.440 to play. Philip Simmons, 2nd down and about 6. Tough inside running, couple of good hits. Cameron Atkins upfield. Boy, we have said his name a ton tonight.
We have said his name a ton.
He's right there. Jakari Simmons, he might be my favorite football player on the field tonight.
Jakari Simmons, yeah. I think
you have those pound for pound guys where they're a little undersized. Simmons is maybe one of those, but he hits you like a ton of bricks. Last week it was Jamoy Brown for James Island.
Simmons.
Week number 1, it was Carpenter for Fort Dorchester.
And a night like tonight, it's easy to see who's been grinding play for play. And I think the award for Jakari Simmons to dirtiest jersey goes to him.
Sherrod Williams turned the corner. I think he's short of the first down, but very close to the line to gain. I think he fumbled as well at the end of that play, but
I was about to say, it looks like a fight for the ball.
Philip Simmons got it back, and it'll be 4th down.
4th and 3 coming up for the Horses.
So now it's a question of Philip Simmons could go for it here, essentially icing the game with clock running down. By the time they snap the ball, I'd probably say it'd be around 3 minutes left to go. A first down here could essentially end it for Philip Simmons. Let's see what they do.
Timeout taken by Eric Bendig. We'll take the timeout with them. Philip Simmons trying to put the finishing touches on a Friday night win on a muddy field here at their home field. 24-12, the Iron Horses lead it. Closing minutes on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Philip Simmons trying to put the finishing touches on win number 3 of this young high school football season. They lead by 12 final minutes, facing 4th and about 4, and trying to gain a first down that would potentially put this one out of reach. Been a good football game. Had some back and forth in it.
Yeah, definitely. Timberland put up some fight, and we like to see a lot of the fight from Timberland. And now we'll take a look here at the Chevrolet drive of the game as we see the run by Isaac Shrimp. And, of course, one of the biggest plays of the game, the touchdown to Stevenson, wide open as he strolls into the back of the end zone. Big drive of the game presented by Chevrolet. Crew Chevrolet on Rivers. You got a friend in the car business. And that was kind of the turning point for the Philip Simmons Iron Horses as you have a turning point here. Looks like they're setting up for a field goal. But once Stevenson scored that touchdown at the beginning of the half, it was all Philip Simmons from there.
And Griffin Gore from 51 yards comes up just short. You got to think heavy ball on a heavy night, but that would have been a long for him. He has about that 50-yard range. Eric Bendig told us in our call earlier this week. Came up short, but no reason not to give it a shot there.
Yeah, still that's a crazy kick for a high school kicker. He's got the talent to do it, but on a night like tonight, it's you're not getting any favors from Mother Nature or the field here at Philip Simmons Stadium. So definitely not the best kicking night, so to say.
After the field goal attempt,
so
take over at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. 3 minutes
Timberland will take over on offense at the 20-yard line. .303 to go, and the Wolves will need a quick strike. Out into the flat, pass incomplete, just off the hands of Brown. And they'll bring up 2nd down. Coolest play of the game, coolest play of the night. Had to be KJ Asbury, you would think.
Oh, yeah.
Game-changing run here in the 4th quarter.
You got one touchdown. Let me answer with another one. And Asbury running down the sideline, and he's one of those people who can just turn on the Jets. We saw it all day today in year 2, putting on the burners, making sure he answered for Philip Simmons. Coolest play of the game by Holy City Heating and Airs. Cool play of the game. We provide solutions for every season. Great run by Asbury, and that was really the nail in the coffin for Philip Simmons. I mean, there's still time for Timberland to possibly make some magic happen here, but Asbury really had a great response to when Timberland was able to get in the end zone for the 2nd time.
Touchdown run was a big deal. The first one he had where he went 55 yards and face planted in about 6 inches of water was probably my favorite play of the night.
Yeah, that could be our personal favorite play of the night.
You got half the cheerleading squad with the splash. So,
hey, they should get like little bibs before that say like you're in the splash zone tonight. They should add splash zone. Beware for all those people sitting near the sideline.
Little throw and catch there. 3rd down coming up for Timberland. In case you're just joining us, we just absolutely were dumped on most of the day, broke up about 4 o'clock, and then just absolute deluge the final hour before we kicked off. A lot of rain at times during the game. It has been a messy one here tonight. It's impacted every part of this football game. Brown tries to dump it upfield and incomplete, but Philip Simmons in that ground game and those 3 horses in the backfield, along with Troy Stevenson, have been the difference.
Yeah, and Timberland came out earlier in the 1st quarter. For those of you who missed it, Timberland came out, and for one of the first times this season, they were the first ones to put points on the board in the 1st half. You thought that could be their game, but Philip Simmons was able to really ground and pound going through that 2nd quarter, get the ball down, took a halftime lead on the last play of the 1st half with a field goal, and then Stevenson's touchdown opened it up, followed by a touchdown by KJ Asbury.
Brown's pass incomplete and out of bounds. And Philip Simmons will take over on offense. Now time for our stop of the game. Will Lou Gray, Never Stop Learning, stop of the game. And this one belongs to Keyshawn Green. of Philip Simmons. Big stick earlier in this one. He was active early and often, and Keyshawn Brown, defensive stop and defensive play of the game.
And nice flex after the play, too. Feels good as a defensive player, especially on Friday Night Rivals, getting that big stop in the backfield. Good shot. Good job for Keyshawn Brown from Philip Simmons.
12 men on the field for Timberland. And it'll cost the Wolves 5 yards. And Philip Simmons probably just needs about 5 yards to put this one away.
And who else to do it but Asbury. And Asbury might get another one here. Why not? Oh, yellow flags might bring it back. I feel like there's been a couple plays with KJ Asbury that could have broke loose and might be brought back by penalties, and this looks like another one of those.
Asbury had the touchdown, but the flag came in pretty quickly, and it was the block on that right side that sprung him. And so our Trident Technical College touchdown will have to wait. Later on tonight, if you want, join ABC News 4's Scotty Eisberg and Natalie Spalla on Friday Night Rivals tonight at 11:05. They'll have scores and highlights from throughout the Low Country. You'll be able to see a little bit of everything. I think there'll be a lot of rain. A lot of water in those highlights.
For sure.
I checked Scotty Eisberg's Twitter feed a few minutes ago, and a couple of field goals in the rain. And
a lot of low-scoring defensive affairs tonight. I'll just put it that way.
If they don't get rained on in studio, then they didn't have the same experience we had.
Come on, when you're sitting inside but still getting rained on, I feel like this might be one of the only times in my life I can have that feeling of being inside and feeling the rain.
Timeouts for the injured player. I think a little cramp maybe down in the corner of the end zone. Player of the game tonight. Well, you had so many to choose from. KJ Asbury, Troy Stevenson. Schimpf has been productive, but Troy Stevenson's your player of the game, the junior wide receiver and cornerback. Not much for Timberland in the passing game, but what he did in the kick return game and as a receiver really changed this football game. He probably had the two of the three biggest offensive plays or plays of the game for Philip Simmons. And your player of the game, sponsored by Reliable Equipment. This season's end zone scissor lift is provided by Reliable Equipment. We rent the good stuff. Your player of the game, Troy Stevenson.
Yeah, Stevenson not only scored that touchdown that really broke open the game for Philip Simmons, but if you remember at the end of that second half, he was the one who had that reception to get him close to the goal line and get him in line for that field goal. And while we've been focusing a lot on those running backs, in Asbury's, in Sherrod Williams, in Schimpf, it's been the work that they've done that's also helped Stevenson do what they have. It's been a big team effort, but Stevenson really, like you said, doing it on special teams, doing it on offense, and helping really to break this game open for the Iron Horses.
Clock runs here in the fourth quarter. Running room over that left side, and I believe that's Asbury.
He wants another one.
He does.
He really does.
He does.
I wonder if they'll let him get it again, or if I think we're about that time where we could start running down the clock. But if it were up to him, it's a handoff to the side every time.
He's going to come to the sideline and get a breather.
Nice round of applause from a couple of the
Yeah, probably should have had a better ovation.
Yeah,
I don't
right?
think people notice how well he's played tonight.
He's been great.
2nd and 8, Schimpf. Nice change in direction. Really grinding. Boy, you just don't get him down with arm tackles. I've
been saying this the whole game. He has been one of my favorite players to watch run. There has not been one play I think I've seen where the first point of contact he's gone straight down. And that is special. That is really good and really hard-nosed football, north to south. He's someone my dad would like.
Final minute of the football game. Philip Simmons appears to be headed to 3-1. Schimpf stretches it out over the right side. Near first down yardage will depend on the mark. Well, Eric Bendig was talking in our conversation earlier in the week about how he was ready for his program to take the next step. And I think when you start talking about, it doesn't matter if they're the smallest team in 3A, smallest school in 3A, they've made that jump from 2A to 3A this year. This is a playoff football team by the time November rolls around.
No, 100%. And the one loss that they have is to a 5A team that they took to overtime. And for a small 3A school, that's impressive in and of itself. And I think they made a big statement here tonight. Although it is a 2A team in Timberland, it's a team that has had a rivalry with them, came for revenge. But Philip Simmons showing that they're the real deal here. And a lot of teams are going to have a tough schedule ahead when they see the Iron Horses on Friday night.
Yeah, a couple of games you need to circle on their schedule at Bishop England in a couple of weeks. And then the big one for Philip Simmons, the real test, is going to be at Beaufort on September the 30th. That's a Beaufort program that was the state runner-up in 4A last year, and they are now a 3A school. So Beaufort Philip Simmons is going to be a huge game here in the Low Country in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you kind of have the battle of one of the biggest 3A schools. Here's one of the smallest 3A schools. And you saw Beaufort also one of our earlier games of the week. We covered them here on Friday Night Rivals versus Fort Dorchester. Didn't go their way, unfortunately, but Beaufort still showed they got a great football team up there, and that's going to be a really fun matchup to watch as well.
Beaufort hung tough in that one. Really good young quarterback in Samari Bonds.
Mm-hmm.
Two good sophomore quarterbacks in that football game. That'll be a fun one to see what happens in a couple of weeks. Final minute, 4th and short for Philip Simmons, just trying to put the finishing touches on it.
Now, if
some real bright spots tonight for Timberland as well.
100%. I think that you saw some improvement from where they had their first couple games. They got out early. As we said, it was key to the game, get out early, get their offense going. It's just hard to slow down these Philip Simmons running backs. And when they have so many weapons coming from everywhere, it's really hard to slow them down. But I think there's a lot of good things for Timberland to look back on the film. Especially, I mean, me and you have been saying his name all night, but Cameron Adkins, as well as Jakiri Simmons, have been really bright spots that I think they could hang their hats on defense.
Greg Wright asked for a late timeout. Final 20 seconds. Said it a couple of times about the finishing touches, but an injury and a couple of late timeouts.
This last minute has lasted 10.
So you wish you had those stats and everything.
We've kind of gone through all our notes at this time.
Our filler has been exhausted. Once again, we're next week we're on Daniel Island, right? You know, as the crow flies, 5-6 miles away. Should be a good one between Woodland and Bishop England. Week number 4 of Friday Night Rivals, season number 13. Once again, thanks to all our sponsors. Many of them, they make this happen year in, year out. They care about the student athletes and scholar athletes and just every aspect and pageantry of high school football being covered. Doesn't always fit on nights like tonight. As Schimpf keeps his feet in the end zone for the touchdown. Unexpected on the final play of the game, but an exclamation point.
Yeah, we were talking about some of the other running backs. KJ Asbury wanting that. Shrimp said, hey, I'll take it myself. Another touchdown for the Philip Simmons Iron Horses. He almost lost his footing there, made sure he was tiptoeing, and you could tell I think the whole team really wanted to put one more in the end zone. Good job by Isaac Shrimp.
The front of Isaac Schimpf's jersey, you could see the blue numerals 34. The back, you can't see anything.
It's a blank jersey on the back.
There's an inch of mud on it. Gore rockets that one through, and that was an exclamation point for Philip Simmons. Flag comes down after the play. Somehow that run only took 2 seconds off the game clock.
And Schimpf saying we had Stevenson and Asbury with a touchdown, and we were talking about Schimpf being one of the players of the game. Well, now He can put himself in the score column as well. Definitely a little bit of icing on the cake. And
our buddy Trooper Bob's hung with us here tonight, down on the sidelines. He's got a trophy to give away after the game. Trophies are always fun. I forgot that we took on water here in the press box, and I went to sit down for the first time in a while a minute ago, and my seat was full of water.
I've been wondering why you've been standing up for half this quarter. Oh, it's definitely gotten a little chillier here in the press box as well. Speaking of trophies, I think Trooper Bob and our camera guy down there deserve their own trophy for braving the elements today.
Games ahead for these schools next week. Timberland's at home. They host nearby rival Hanahan. Philip Simmons also at home. They have Ainer here. Both these teams playing the friendly confines next week. Kickoff by Gore. That one's
numero 3.
Yeah, that one's hooked out of bounds, right?
Yeah.
Timberland will have a couple of snaps if they want them. A lot of fresh bodies jumping out there for Philip Simmons. His defense has really been the backbone tonight, and the offense has been able to ground and pound just enough
I need a battery down here at 4 now.
to defeat Timberland. This was a 9-1 team a year ago in Timberland, 11-2 overall. Won a couple of playoff games. They're 2A. They've played a lot of teams in 3 and 4A so far this season, and there's a good chance they're going to make another run when the postseason rolls around. Nice stop in the backfield there. That'll be our final snap of the football game. Philip Simmons, win number 3, 31-12, our final tonight. Iron Horses top the Timberland Wolves. Final thoughts on this one?
I mean, it's Philip Simmons did exactly what we thought they were going to do, really leaning on their trio of running backs. And Timberland, they had a great start. And like you said earlier in the game, I think Timberland has a lot to take from this game and move forward. They have a lot of pieces that they can work around and a lot of bright spots that we didn't really get to see in these first 3 games. But I think the big, like we said, the big shining star of this game, Stevenson and those running backs really opened up the game when it came to the second half, battling through the elements, which were a big part of this game as well. But dominating win for Philip Simmons, and they're going to be scary come November.
31-12, our final. We've got a trophy to give away. We'll do that on the other side of the break. Philip Simmons, a winner tonight on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. They top Timberland 31-12. 31-12, our final. Bob, you having a good time down there on the field? A happy football team?
I'm having a great time with the winning team right here. We got number the game right here. We got Coach. Coach, you scored 10 in the first half. You turned it up the second half. What'd you do different?
There and told them boys they've been playing a little bit sloppy. Told them to get right, and they did. They came out. We showed some speed. They had a little sloppy play here, a couple penalties there, but our kids are good.
Congratulations, here's your trophy. You got.
Need to give out another trophy tonight. Our production crew braving this weather. They were up against it all night long, pouring throughout, but able to get through this one here tonight. Reminder, join ABC News 4's Scotty Eisberg and Natalie Spalla. Friday Night Rivals tonight at 11:05. They'll have scores and highlights from throughout the Low Country. Next week, we're on Daniel Island for week number 4 of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet as Bishop England hosts Woodland. Special thanks to our entire production crew tonight. For Sean Mahoney and Trooper Bob, I'm Zeke Beam. So long from Philip Simmons High School, 31-12 the final. Philip Simmons wins it over Timberland. We'll see you next week on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.